Okay, there we go. OBS just blanked for a sec. Okay, we should be good.
Right. I'm just gonna send a message in general to let everybody know stream's on, if
Sure.
that's all right.
Yeah, that's good. Um, yeah, so we should be live in a second or two. Hey, everybody who's joining the stream. Yeah, hopefully things go okay. Just had a slight beam working out. Um, but we're going to be doing the Group B Showcase stream part 1 right now, which is going to be pretty significant. If you are reading the description, you'll see that there are a lot of cars. There are 176 to go through. And already having light errors with buffering. So hopefully that doesn't stay. My internet is good, but I don't know why lately it's just not been particularly good. It's only good when it wants to be good. So we'll a bit for this. Okay. Is it working now? Hopefully it is. Awkwardly, it's not showing anything here. Oh, there we go. All right, we should be good to go then.
Well, I suppose while we're working out these issues, I guess it's time for me to introduce myself. My name is Overlord. It's good to see you all here. I came up, well, I suggested the idea for this, and I helped write the rules, and I oversaw the overview of all of the submissions within the Discord server.
Yeah. Okay, hold on a minute. I'm hoping that people actually heard that because it just said it was down. Okay, there we go. So we're back up for real this time, and we should be good. Let's go ahead and get started. Even if it stays bad for a bit, it should iron out eventually. The keyword is eventually. Yeah. Let's
Looks
see.
like we still have some buff.
All right, I'm just gonna get
Shadow
my.
Aura, good to see you.
Just gonna
Nope,
get
I
the
think
windows
we're,
set up. Hmm?
let's see.
144p. All right. As long as that goes, as long as it somewhat works, we should be set. Works better after the reset. You can see the beam
Yeah,
kind
it
of
looks like
glitches
it.
out a little bit. So let's go ahead. What we're gonna do. I was talking about order there for a second. Basically, the cars are in the order of people who emailed me. Their cars are all first. The only reason is because I went through the emails first, and then the people who submitted by Discord, their cars are kind of mixed up a little bit, but generally speaking, it's in the order of submission. So those who submitted first will be going first, but consider that I'll probably be doing better at driving this track as we go further down the list. So, yeah, I'm not sure that that's much of an advantage, but you might be shown more in the this stream. All right, so it says excellent connection. I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and
And
start with the first car. It's going to be Kevin's. Oh boy, pronunciation is going to be a huge issue this entire stream. By the way, Anduin RS10 Rally. So let's look that thing up.
the Audion, it
Odeon, yeah.
has, I can tell you right here, it has a V10. It is 4.1 liters. It has 491 horsepower, and just within the weight, 12, 1,231 kilograms. So it's quite a bit of power for how much weight it has. So we'll just have to see how this performs.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, Kevin generally does make some pretty cool cars. He's been submitting since the beginning. So, yeah, thank you, Kevin. I don't know if you're in the stream or anything yet, but I'm sure you'll see the VOD. But yeah, basically, I've got it set up. We're not going to be using the. Oh, what? There's a setting that it's like. Oh, what is it in Beam? The one where it restricts you to have to reload the game every time you do the scenario. Um, I've got that turned off so we can just load it once and then do every car and not have to load every time. That should help us. And I can
One
hear the
im-
car. Okay, there we go.
One important thing to note on the particular spreadsheet that we're looking at, Kevin's power to weight ratio is about 40. So, and the map is West Coast, USA. We're doing cell town delivery.
Let's just turn down the car's volume a little bit. Okay, we're gonna get started with Kevin's car. And yeah, this will be a good way to um, get used to the track. We're going to be doing the all-wheel drive cars first, just because there are so many more of them. But we may end up switching up to the rear-wheel drive and four-wheel drive / front-wheel drive, which I've put separately, just so that they're organized in that way. So yeah, let's give it a go. 3, 2, 1, and we're off with this car. Oh, okay. Immediately, the first corner is going to cause a lot of issues, and the second corner as well. And basically every corner after that. Let's be real. So essentially what I'm going to try to do, at least in the dirt section, is just kind of use the momentum that we have to get down it. It's going to be interesting with some of the rear-wheel drive cars to get down here. It's going to be just like a straight drift. But this is the first warm-up for the track. Admittedly, I've only driven it once. So consider that when you're commenting about things. And I'm sorry in advance to those whose cars I do not drive as well as they would hope. But keep in mind, like, I'm driving every car, right? So it's fair in the sense that I'm, oh goodness, my same level of badness will be carried over to every car. But it'll be interesting to start to see what kind of times we get going here. This track, generally speaking, is a 2.5-minute track, so I'm expecting most of the times to be around that mark. We'll just have to see how it goes, though.
That's quite a bit of a slide right there.
Yeah, so if you're watching the stream, then your perspective of it will be delayed by like 30 seconds.
One thing about,
so yeah.
I could say one thing about the car design. Oops, it's a bit of a bump. Say one thing about the car design. It actually looks rather nice. It's well built. Obviously, Kevin's been here for quite some time, so he has plenty of experience with that sort of thing. Breaking
Yeah, no
into
doubt
the
about
corner.
that.
Just want to make this one as tight as possible. I'm doing the race commentator.
Yeah, that's cool. We're reaching the end of the track, at least on my perspective. Yeah, so basically this track is a giant downhill, down from the tower and then up another tower. Unfortunately, just before going up this tower, there was a massive slide, which I'm sure you'll see soon, that kind of probably cut a bit off the time.
Man.
Yeah, so what my rules are for this is basically, as long as the car can go in a reasonable way, I'm just going to keep going. Because we have so many cars to get through, it doesn't make sense to just redo them for small issues. But if there are major issues...
I mean, we have 176 to go through. As far as we know, 176 is quite a bit.
Yeah, basically. So every... Oh, jeez. I'm sorry in advance, Kevin, for this poor driving, but your car is first on the leaderboard, at least temporarily. I think I'm gonna... So that's a 252, which is a little slow. But yeah, we'll just leave it there like that. 858. All right. So we'll move on to the next one. Oh,
this next one is by Jake the Streak. It is the Crawler multi-use. It has an inline 4 just above 2 liters. It has 202.7 horsepower and has quite a hefty weight at 1,133 kilograms. We've had many talks about this in the server about weight And one of the things is, even if your car may weigh heavy, that does give a lot of the gravity may help with. Uh, sorry, this is a term me and my dad use. May give a lot of gription, may a lot of traction
Gription?
on the ground.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's
an
a term
interesting
me and my
one.
dad use.
Oh, all right. Hold on. I'm gonna get started with Jake the Snake's car. So yeah, the lap time I just did with Kevin's car was pretty slow. There were a few issues with it. So we'll keep that in mind for like going in the future. We may end up doing his car at the end again. So we'll see. Yeah, but I'm gonna take off with this car. Hopefully it'll do a little bit better. This one being quite a bit less powerful, but generally lighter. So we'll see how it goes. At least I think it's lighter. Is it?
It is somewhat lighter, about 100 kilograms, but
Okay.
the power to weight is just is very very different. We have a 17.891.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. Oh, careful! It's gonna be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah. So the general power to weight ratio, I haven't actually averaged it, but just an approximate average is about 30. So anything below that is going to be heavily reliant on its handling. Anything above that is probably very powerful, but it's going to be, well, challenging to drive usually. There are some cars with like very high power to weight ratios. I think one of them is 60 even. So stuff like that is going to be a bit, like basically just a rocket ship on wheels. But it might also be really poor in handling, as that could have been sacrificed for more power.
Exactly.
So that's
Well,
where the budget comes in.
one thing I am noticing here is that this is actually very good at handling on dirt and on the tarmac. It's very interesting.
Yeah, this car is much better at handling than Kevin's car. I guess seeing as Kevin's car is much more of an uh, old style car. Goodness, those curbs are a little dangerous. His car is much more old style. It's much more old school. This one is, yeah, a bit newer.
Thank you, Lewis Rain. One. That's that's very true.
Yeah, thank you for the donation. Well, we have 3 streams to practice, right? This is only stream number 1.
Indeed, it is. And we have 176 cars to go through. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. Yeah, thank you again for being here. It helps take the load off of talking for 3 hours straight.
Oh, not a problem at all.
Yeah, it makes it a bit easier. Plus, it's somebody to talk to, right? Like, um,
It's not just a voice in your head anymore.
pretty much. Like, something I definitely struggle with. I don't think I'm naturally a good streamer, so I'll be like just kind of mumbling sometimes. At least I notice it because I don't know what to say. But yeah, it's good to have somebody to talk to.
Mm. So we're coming close to the tower. Careful. We're coming close to the tower. This might actually be a quicker time. This is going to be very interesting to see.
That was a significantly quicker time. That was a 2 minute 28.902, and I'm going to carry
That
all 3
is much
decimals
quicker.
For this.
That is much quicker.
All right, so we switch to the next one.
The next one we have on the docket is Moritz Enduro Type SPR. It also has an i4, but this is a 2.8 liter, significant amount of horsepower, 541.5, and the
Yikes.
weight, it's also quite heavy, 1,245 kilograms, but its power to weight ratio, about 43 and a half.
So this car, by weight, is in the top class. By power, it is up there. 43.5 basically
Yeah,
power
it's
to weight
in
ratio.
the
That's pretty high.
it's in the class right below the top.
Yeah, and I think like in the first couple cars in this class, I did not put in the turbo, but a lot of them are turbo. So just to keep that in mind.
We've
So that's
we do
displacement
have
times
that in
1.4.
account.
Yeah. Okay, let's give this one a go. Yeah, I don't know about this one. It's hopefully going to be good.
It
I'm
looks
hoping
nice.
every car
I'll say
is good.
that. It looks very nice.
Yeah, it does. Well, I'm a little nervous with that power. Gliding around these bottom, ooh, goodness. Okay, that was significant driver error there, but we're just gonna keep driving anyways because that wasn't too bad. Like I said before, if anything is like hyper drastic, like we lose a wheel, I'm not going to continue. I'm going to try again, but anything minor, we'll just keep it.
This is whoa! I see it now. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is proper Scandinavian rallying, Scandinavian flick. I imagine in the server Destrega, he's very prominent within the discussion board. We talk about Scandinavian flicks all the time, so
Oh
it's
yeah.
good to see that it actually shows up here.
No, it's definitely something that'll be useful around some of the really tight corners at the beginning. Coming up to the hill climb portion at the end, not so much. But when it gets fast there down at the begin or starting at the beginning, it definitely could be useful. Now, what I've been doing is I've been running over the curb here. That's kind of cutting the track, but it's a risk I'm willing to take, and I'm going to try and do it for every car. So we'll see.
Well, risks are always worth taking here. Risks are worth taking.
And then coming around that corner where the highway sort of merges into another highway, there's another curb section. We're not jumping that one, but we have to be pretty darn careful of it, because if I like drift out wide or something, we're gonna lose a wheel. So
Exactly. So I imagine this will be an issue for much more low-riding cars. So for any sort of off-road event, you'll want a little bit of ride height, but however, you can sacrifice some of that ride height for, I guess, better aerodynamics.
true. Like I've seen some cars that are jacked up nearly all the way. That's not really going to be useful because a decent portion of this track is pavement, and like your
Yeah.
ride height there, lower is better. But when it comes to these dirt sections, having a bit of ride height is actually not a bad thing, especially going uphill. Like if we're hitting the bumper off every sort of bump, then it's going to slow you down, or it'll just fall off and we'll just keep going anyways. But yeah. Okay, this car is a little bit, goodness, that is just a little bit quicker than the previous one. That's a 2:25.3.
That's a pretty good time. And the thing is that unlike, sorry to say this, Kevin, but unlike your car, this has actually handled rather well. So it's interesting to see.
To be honest, I think I made Kevin's car handle seemingly worse than it actually does, just because that was the first run. But yeah.
So I believe up next we have Unreal Player, the Saber Metro Rally. It is a 4.2 liter V8.
Actually, we're going for the Henderson Spirit of the Cleveland next. You skipped one.
Forgive me, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. This one's a truck. It's an old school truck. 422 horsepower out of a V8, so let's see what it'll do. But yeah, next is the Metro Rally. So I'm a little nervous when it comes to trucks as well. There are a few of them, but not too many. It's just that the weight in the back is kind of, well, there's not much weight in the back, so coming around some of these corners is going to be interesting. Usually they're quite front heavy, at least balance-wise. This one, though, is, I've driven it before. I actually drove it in the practice, so I generally know what's going on with it. That being said, okay, that wasn't too bad, that section. We just have to be careful, as always, going around those first corners, not to fall off the cliff or cut in too much.
So I have the stats for Greasy Steve, the Henderson Spirit of Cleveland. It is a V8, 2.4 liter V8. Like I said, V8. We have 422.3 horsepower, and the weight is 1,434 kilograms. It has a below average power to weight, but this may not matter. If it has more weight, it may very well provide more gription, as I've coined the term now.
So I've just rolled it. I'm going to try again.
So it will be interesting to see how this one goes around. Also, this one appears to be... Ooh, geez.
Yeah, no, it was a significant overcorrection there, and I kind of rolled off of a rock. But anyway, we're going again with this one. So just to clarify the rules on things, if I mess up that poorly, I'm going to redo it. But I don't want to redo it more than 3 times. So if we get to that last time when I just can't drive the car well, then I'm going to take it for a real conservative lap. And if I can't make that one, then it's just going to DNF. So keep that in mind.
I sincerely doubt that anybody's car will DNF here, but
hopefully not.
be that as it may.
Yeah, if something is so ridiculously bad that I can't make it around the track 3 times, or I mean once out of 3 tries, then yeah, that's gonna be it for that one.
Yeah. So the thing I'm noticing about this particular one, it's quite tail happy.
Yeah, it's a bit squirrely to say the least, and this same corner is getting me down, but I'm gonna keep going straight. We'll just use the rocks to correct ourselves there. You'll see that in a bit. Okay, this I'm now noticing its lackluster feature is its brakes. That is kind of why I've been late braking pretty
Ah,
much every car, and yeah, this one is one that you can't really do that with, so I'll have to correct that. But we did take a pretty decent collision, and we are still going to be able to move forward just because it's got so
that
much. Oh,
that
jeez.
collision just showed up on stream.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have some issues, like crashing into a fence. Goodness. Because it still drives, I'm gonna keep going. But yeah, this truck can take a beating if nothing else.
That is something to keep in mind.
So it's probably one of the heavier vehicles that's
Mm.
going. I'm not sure uh, if anything is even heavier than 1400. I don't know, but goodness, the brakes could use a little bit of work. I guess that was what's sacrificed to get the amount of power it has.
Well, it's also, we have to keep in mind that things like the cost had to be kept in mind. There was a $40,000 budget, and we looked at that in terms of the approximate cost, or for those in a later version, the price.
Hmm. So we were using the open beta for this. In the future, we're going to continue to use the open beta. So if you make cars for showcases, please make sure to use that. That'll be specified in the rules. Because I remember back when we first did this, there was a bit of confusion on the price. Like some people's cars were coming in like well over $1 million, and
Yeah,
it was because they were using the wrong version. Okay,
Gas Killer,
so
this is Overlord, by the way. One of the moderators within the Discord server. I helped write the rules, and
whoops.
I oversaw the adjudicated on the submissions within the Discord server.
Hmm.
Just to clarify.
Yeah, maybe I should have put you in the title. Uh, did not think about
Oh,
that.
we're not gonna glorify anything here. This
Saber
is your
Metro
stream.
Rally. There we go.
So we have a 251.44.
Yes, that is the second slowest time so far. But however, something to consider with that is there were quite a few crashes on that run, so
Yeah,
yeah, it's not a perfect run by any means.
right, exactly.
Okay, so up
So,
next is the Saber Metro Rally. For real this time.
yes,
Let's give it a
sorry,
go.
forgive me, for real this time.
Yeah, no problem. Uh,
So,
yeah, this one's got a center exhaust. Ooh, it's loud as well. What's this one got?
well, we have a V8. It's, like I was saying before, it's a 4.2 liter. We have
Mhm.
386.6 horsepower, and this is one of the much heavier cars we have. It is 1,622 kilograms.
Yikes, what I said about the truck was completely incorrect then, if this weighs more than that does. One thing to notice is it has full off-road tires, so I don't know what they were thinking with that. I guess they were assuming it would be predominantly dirt, but in the case of, well, this is the track that I've chosen, right? So it's not predominantly dirt, it's mostly asphalt.
So, yeah, the interesting thing, we've had many discussions about this within the Discord server about which tires are the best. The main conclusion that we came to is either hard, long life tires or the medium compounds.
Hmm.
That provides again, the gription required to stay on the track and to actually put in a quick time.
Yeah, it seems like going either extreme, like if you're going for slicks or if you're going for off-road. In the case of a mixed track, it doesn't make sense,
Yeah,
so it's better to go somewhere in between.
again, sacrifices have to be made, especially for the cost.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure that slicks are quite expensive as well. I don't
One
know.
thing I do notice about the brakes is that they seem to be of a decent. It's a good choice for brakes, but can you allude to us how well it's braking?
This one is better than the truck. You can see it has vented brakes instead of solid.
Yeah,
Um, Yeah, like generally vented discs are going to be better. It's worth investing in them, at least in a challenge like this, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure I did on my car, now that I don't remember. Um, but having good brakes on a circuit like this is really important. Um, oh goodness, especially with so many tight corners, lots of hairpins, and a downhill section as well. This car, I would say, is decent. Um, it's not the best that I've driven so far. I think I'd give that to probably the fastest time so far, the Crawler multi-use. But we'll see how it goes as we go forward. I mean, we're only 4 cars in.
Yeah, exactly. We are 4 cars in, but one thing I am noticing so far is that these seem to be uh, visually well crafted.
Yeah, I think so. It's clear that people put a lot of effort into their designs, and it is cool to see that here. So yeah, that's another lap. That's a 241. Not exactly the fastest lap, but from something that heavy, I don't know if we can really expect that. Heavier vehicles are going to suffer on this track. That's just the nature of it.
Well, that is the nature of it. So, but that should be, so far from what we've seen, that's about middle of the road.
Yeah, that's middle of the pack there. All right, so we have next the Hellbat, or correctly named file. Um,
That's an interesting name.
yes, basically what I have in the car section is the name of the actual file, so it's easier to search it, and that's what I got. All right, let's see what this one will do.
So this is by Amelia. It, as we said, is the correctly named file Hell B4T. I'm going to say Hellbat as well.
Yeah.
This is a Boxer 4 1.8 liter, and it produces 336.3 horsepower with a 1123 kilogram weight.
Mhm.
So it is visually stunning, by the way. That's an interesting color. But again, it seems to be visually it seems to be well crafted.
Yeah, definitely. I know that she's in the chat somewhere. At least I think I saw her. So yeah, let me know what your design inspiration for this one was. This is an interesting body.
That
You
would
don't
be
really
interesting.
see it too much. See it used too much, I mean.
No. Yes, Lelouch, that is a very thick boy. Indeed.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, jeez, that was close.
Yeah. There's another close call coming up. But yeah, I think this one is smoking. I'm not exactly sure why. Evidently it has some damage, but there is no damage indicator in the default, like the default AI or UI for the, goodness. No, we just lost a wing. There's no damage indicator in the default UI for the time trials, so we can't actually see what's going on with it.
I can provide a
Yeah.
general hypothesis to why it could be smoking. It could be running rich. It could be.
It could be. It could also be that I've broken something in one of the previous several collisions. That's the most likely answer.
We're seeing the one where you lose the wing now.
Yeah, I just lost the Porsche wing back there, and we're gonna mildly cut that corner, go for a bit of a wheelie. But yeah, this car's still driving straight, so I consider that to be a bonus. It's a little bit dented, but that's not the worst thing ever.
Exios, we do have a list of the cars that are going to be running. We do have a scoreboard, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be in the description? Is it?
It is in the description. There is a link to
Okay.
it in the description. It's just a Google Sheets file.
Right. So I'm gonna also post it in the Discord.
Okay.
Just real quick.
Yeah, no problem. Post it in the subscriber showcase section. I totally should have done that.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and do that right now.
Yeah. So, basically, if you're looking at that sheet, it's a little bit messy, but I'm just going in the order that it's in. We'll be, probably by the end of the thing, I'll come up with some stats that you can see. I'm not too familiar with Google Sheets, so I don't exactly know what I'm doing with it yet. Like, generally I use Excel, and it's just a little bit different. All right, so that was a 239, so just a little bit faster than the previous one. So
A little bit above average.
Yeah, I guess by the end of this, we'll have a decent average and like a sort of a pool of cars that we can pick from to see what we can expect from others.
So
yeah.
I believe Up next is Colin,
Yes, Colin, and this is the Hikori
the
Super Rally MK5.
the Mark V,
Yes.
and it is a V6. It is 2.5 liters. It has 278.5 horsepower with an interesting weight of 1,291 kilograms. So the power to weight ratio is very interesting, to say the least.
So this one, hold on, what was the power to weight ratio again?
The power to weight is 21 and a little over a half.
Yeah, so that's a little bit lower than the average car.
Mm.
I noticed that some people, their engines, like they have a decent size engine, but they weren't quite maxing out the potential of it. So I don't know if that was a tuning issue or if it was like sacrificing on components for other things. But those of you who have lower to power to weight ratios, if you still have the car file, you should definitely go back, take a look at it, and see what you could do better with your car. Like, that's kind of the fun of this, right? If you submitted really quick and you didn't spend too much time on it, then yeah, it's worth going back to look at it again and see where you can make better changes.
In the
So
end, something that we want to affirm is improvement.
pretty much, like we'll be doing more things like this in the future, and not anytime soon. Probably going to take at least a month break between the next showcase and this one. Oh goodness, that was a bit of a collision there. So yeah, that wheel is really bent. I'm gonna try this one again. But for the next
Mm.
showcase, we'll probably have a little bit more strict rules, I would think, on submissions. Like I
Yeah.
remember we had it before where you could tweak your car and then resubmit, but we definitely won't be doing that again. It'll be one submission and that's it. So yeah, it's got to be a good one.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to say about this particular car, and as a matter of fact, for all of the cars that we've seen, again, visually well crafted.
Yeah, I think so. I think further down the line there are quite a few that I really like. I think the visual design is quite nice. There are quite a few that are a little bit more simple, but that's also because despite people listing mods, I still didn't have every mod that was needed. So some of you might be missing taillights and stuff. Yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes.
So I'd like to ask, for this current vehicle, what do you think is the most prevailing issue?
Issue, I don't know. This one, it's got off-road tires again. Grip is definitely something that it struggles with. The brakes are a little lackluster, and I just bent the wheel again on it, doing the same thing that I did before. If it drives straight, okay, no, it doesn't. So this is its final time. I'm gonna be careful down that hill. But yeah, I'm trying to drive it quick, and it's just not quite responding how I'd like it to. So we'll just have to, oh goodness, correct around that bottom corner, which I guess you'll end up seeing soon. Uh, yeah, it's a bit of a dangerous corner.
One thing I'm noticing on this particular car, the tires are also very thin.
They are. I think it struggles mostly with grip, uh, more than
The
anything.
gription.
Yeah, the gription. All right. So this is its third time. If I end up messing it up this time drastically, like it loses a wheel and it can't finish the race, then it'll DNF. But if not, then we'll just keep going, regardless of what damage it takes. Oh, there's a bit of damage right there. Goodness. As I say that,
Jason, it is indeed Overlord.
yes. Okay. All right. Much, much slower this time. I'm gonna cut in. I've done this route before, but I did it with a soapbox race in the last Autoflux games. Right down that
Ah,
hill.
I felt like I recognized this
Yeah,
track.
and then right down here as well in the highway section. And then what we did differently was we turned into the subdivision instead of continuing along the highway and then up the hill on the other
That's
side. So,
indeed. Amelia, yes, you were one of the first to go. She's shown up.
yeah, you might have just missed it, but the stream should be enabled. so that you can scroll backwards, or you can put on a delay and maybe see yourself.
Hmm.
But that was only a few cars ago, so yeah. All right, here we go. Just gotta. This one corner here at the beginning of the second, or I guess the end mountain, is quite an interesting one, just because it has an odd bump, and then that bump will send you off into the other side, which also has a bump. So you gotta really take it properly, otherwise you're just gonna fly away. All right, up we go though. Almost done with this car, and it's actually gonna finish a lap, which is good.
Hmm.
228. I'm thinking it'll be just a little bit, uh, goodness, just a little bit past some of the other cars that we've had.
It's actually surpassed the crawler multi-use.
Oh no, yeah, 240 is what its actual time is.
Oh, sorry, forgive me.
Yeah, 228 was only just going up the slope. But yeah,
Okay,
240.
so we have a 240. Yeah, that's just about, I'd say, about average
Yeah,
so
approximately
far.
average so far.
So I believe up next is Lutrimi.
Oh goodness, it's a micro SUV is up next. Um, yeah, this is the Lada Nevi.
The Lada Niva.
Yeah.
It has an i3,
Oh boy.
inline 3, forgive me. It is a 1.3 liter. It's got to be turbocharged because it
Hmm.
has 313.7 horsepower with a very light weight of 937.4 kilograms.
Honestly, this thing is like a micro Suzuki. Oh, what's that thing called? Samurai, the like tippy SUV.
Yeah, the Samurai. Yep.
Yeah, it's got massive wheels, and it's quick. I will say it's quick. Not many fixtures on
Wow,
it.
look at those wheels.
Yeah, the wheels are massive. I think the budget went into the wheels, and also raising it, because my goodness, it's tall. It really likes to wobble as you brake. Oh goodness, it's doing endos like one right after the other here.
Funny story, since you mentioned the Suzuki Samurai, my dad actually had one when he was in Guam during the Air Force. He had one.
Did he experience the legendary issue with those?
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. He experienced the tipping.
Sounds about right. Okay,
Yeah,
this
but
one,
the
oh goodness. Yeah, we just lost a wheel.
good grief, look at how
Okay,
much suspension travel there is on that.
I'm gonna try it again here. But yeah, that was a little bit of a bad angle going into that corner. Oh jeez, oh no. Okay, we're almost off the cliff. That'll be the first one to go off the cliff if I can actually. No, okay, we're good. Um, Yeah, I'm hoping that we won't have to send too many cars off of this cliff, but there's gonna be an inevitable, at least one that's gonna go. I'm just noticing now this has a solid rear axle. And, oh no, it's got, okay, it doesn't have leaf springs. I was a bit worried for a second. That might be why it's bouncing so poorly. Having such a short wheelbase though, it's, oh goodness, it shakes the screen when it brakes. But having such a short wheelbase, it's actually quick, but it's just dangerous. Okay, so this is the part where I messed up previously, and I'm going to do my best to avoid that. The brakes are like way too strong, but it's kind of a good thing, because you can actually stop. Oh, geez, okay. Oh no. Okay, I'm going way too fast down in the bottom of the hill. We're gonna take a very ambitious shortcut and then lose a wheel. And then lose both front wheels? Oh no, we just lost one. Goodness. So this is the kind of car where that rule that I have actually comes into play, because this is time number 3. If I can't make it, then that's gonna be it. Oh, goodness. Oh, it just rolled. Oh, but it's still alive. Okay, we're gonna continue on. I mean, we could probably take a bit of a shortcut with this because it has such a high ride height. It could probably cut the corner there. No, it definitely seems like they did select the off-road preset. Or maybe just jelloed out the suspension quite a bit. Or comfort preset,
So
maybe.
I guess that would be the primary issue with this.
Yeah, primary issue would definitely be way too wobbly, way too tall, and whoa, dangerous.
So so I guess who submitted this? Let's see. This is Lutrimi. I guess
Mm-hmm.
he forgot that this would be a mixed track, which is a mistake that can be made.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go really slowly over the curb this time instead of losing a wheel. Okay, we're good. All right, let's
Yep.
keep going properly here. I'm
Just as
hoping,
predicted.
yeah, it should be able to go. Like it's fast, but it's just dangerous. This is one of those high risk, high reward vehicles. But we actually made it through and passed its previous record, so yeah. Oh goodness. Alright, coming up to the hill. Almost done with this one. Goodness. So how many cars have we gone through?
Forgive me, I have my meal in front of me. We have gone through, believe it, 7. So this is the 8th.
This is number 8. Okay, that's actually a little bit better than I thought. So that's only 68 left, approximately. Yeah, that's a... I guess there is a counter on the actual scoreboard. It doesn't count down or anything, it's just counting the total. So, yeah, it should be correct to be 176. And finishing up with this one, that is a 244, so just slightly above the current average time. Yeah.
I believe you mean the below the current average.
Oh, definitely. Actually, no, above the current average time.
Well, what I mean by below the current average is that it's slower than the average.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying.
Right,
Lunch.
okay. Just to be on the same page.
Yeah, no problem. Lunchero Riva?
The Lancero Riva.
Yeah.
So this is Luca's submission. It is an inline 5, 2.8 and a half liters. Very decent horsepower output, 547.7, with a very modest weight of 1,164 kilograms.
Yeah, so this one's got a very high power to weight ratio.
Yes, to be exact, it's about 47.
That's quite high, which is dangerous, but it also has the potential to be very quick.
Yep, very well. Very well could be.
Okay, so far so good going down the slopes at the beginning. Oh, as always, coming out a little bit too slowly there at the final corner, but out of that pretty easily. Goodness. This car is incredibly quick. I guess that's to be expected, but having a power to weight ratio like that is something we cannot ignore. Oh boy.
This is very, very reminiscent of the Lada, just to say.
Oh goodness, that one rock there is constantly calling my name. I gotta really be careful. And then this wall here as well that has claimed many victims. I think if the car is too low, we're gonna end up having to go around the curb, which might cost it time. But this car does manage to get over the curb without any issues. And then around here as well. Okay, not too bad. Just through the highway section and then up the hill, and we'll be done with this one. It's pretty simple to drive, which is good. A bit of a refreshing change from that that bouncy blue SUV from before.
I would like to point out that I believe that this is also visually well crafted. It's meant to be bleak, is what I'm saying. Simplicity for this one is key.
Yeah, it's a simplistic style, but it works. Oh boy. Okay, there we go. The rocks on this upward climb are dangerous, but thankfully we've been able to avoid them so far. Oh, a
So
bit of lag.
what would you say is the prevailing issue with this one? Just too much power, perhaps?
I don't know. Actually, this one is quite good. It's well balanced. It, okay, alright. Let's not roll off the cliff there. The brakes could probably just be a little bit stronger, but other than that, I think it's pretty much set. That's a
Well,
227, so that is the second fastest time so far.
nice. So if I'm correct, they look like drums, correct?
Are they drums? Oh no, they're definitely discs.
Oh, so, forgive me. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see the discs on the back as it flies through the air to its inevitable death, and I'm assuming I'm assuming it's discs on the front too.
Well, that would be seeing the disc fly off would be a very good indicator of if it's actually a disc or not.
Yeah, I've unfortunately reloaded it before that happened. So up next is the Mini Cooper. This is made by Tim. Yeah, he usually makes some more realistic styled cars, and I think this one is definitely no different than that. Hopefully it drives as well as Mini did in the rally days. We'll see. Okay, coming
So
around.
this one,
Yeah.
again,
Sorry, continue.
submitted by Tim. It is an inline 3. It is 1.4 liters, but again with a very respectable 402.4 horsepower, and again an incredibly lightweight of 824.4 kilograms. This has a power to weight ratio of about 49, so this should be a little rocket ship.
Yeah, goodness, 49 is even higher than the last car. Unfortunately, I did just bend the wheel on a small accident, but it still does drive. It's just it requires a little bit of extra attention as it pulls slightly to the left, but that's not a big deal. Oh boy, okay. It is incredibly quick when you want it to be. Coming around those left corners now that its wheel is slightly bent, it can pull some serious G's. But here, yeah, so jumping the curb is going to be an issue.
It looks like to me the biggest problem here is I'm seeing that there's a tiny bit of lack of the gription. This may be an issue of tire choice.
Could be. I'm not sure what wheels it has on it. Honestly, I can't tell the difference between sport, medium, and hard long life. Usually you can tell slicks pretty easy, and off-road pretty easy as well. Yeah, so I think this one, I mean, having the wheel bent is definitely not helping. It's quick regardless, but yeah.
Are you able to cope with it, however?
I think so. It's not bent in the way that it's undrivable, it's just bent in like an annoying way. But it's still, like, it's gonna make it the first time, so I think that proves, if nothing else, that it's a well-done vehicle, like it's very tightly tuned.
I would like to point out that that badge is pretty much on point.
Yeah, it's styled well, no doubt about that.
Indeed.
Alright. It's sad that we can't really show things too well just because I don't have any shadows on, and the graphic settings are pretty low just so the stream doesn't lag. But yeah, maybe one day. Alright,
Yeah,
coming
we'll
around.
say that this looks suitably like a Mini.
Yeah, so coming around that final corner was decent. That's a 2:33, so that is an above average time. Yeah, 2:33 is not bad. Actually, that puts it up into
That's quite respectable.
third place, I think.
Let me see yep, third place.
Nice.
Wait, no, fourth. Forgive
place.
me, fourth.
Okay.
Fourth place.
We still have a lot of cars to go though, so let's go for the next one. This one is the Panthera Commodore B-Spec.
By Philippe, it has an inline 5. It is 1.1 liters, I believe turbocharged, 303.8 horsepower, and has an interesting weight of 1,127 kilograms. Its power to weight will be below the average of 30. It's about 27.
So Tim has come into the chat and he has confirmed that his wheels on that Mini are medium compound.
Ah, so I would personally recommend hard long life for especially on the dirt, but that's a personal preference for me. That's a personal preference.
Yeah, I think it worked well enough. The biggest error with it was my own error, bending the wheel, but other than that, it was a fast car for sure. This one, the Panthera, uh, has also got full off-road wheels on it.
So
But
we may see a few issues, especially on the tarmac.
yeah, I would think so. I
But
think
this suitably looks like a communist car.
yeah, that's a common theme. Also, I noticed we haven't really got into them yet, but a good amount of the cars are Corvettes. Not sure why, but people just love that 80s Corvette body.
No, you gotta love a Corvette. I'm American. I can definitely vouch.
Yeah, I guess maybe. I'm just realizing with this car, as I hit the brakes there, the reverse lights are much bigger than the brake lights. I'm not sure what jurisdiction that falls under, but it's an interesting idea.
Perhaps parking brake?
It's the reverse lights. So if you're going in reverse, you're gonna be blinding
Oh,
everybody behind you. But if you if you stop, nobody's gonna see because they're so small. But it looks good though. It's different.
it does. It is indeed rather different. And I do believe this is the AE86 body, for those who are asking
Yeah,
about it.
it's a jacked up version.
Mm,
Okay, this one's massive and also mighty wings, of which it has two. They're doing
yes.
some work right now. I think that's just one wing reversed at the back, on the bottom, which is an interesting idea. I believe the way it works in Beam is like the more wings you have, the more downforce it thinks you have, at least roughly speaking. So if you put a massive wing on your car, it might actually do something.
Right.
We should definitely test
So
that at some point.
something interesting I'm seeing is that there is quite a bit of understeer with this one.
It's also got a decent amount of wheel spin. I don't know if
So
you noticed coming down the mountain,
yeah,
but
I see now that there is, because of the wheel spin, I will say that there is a bit of snap oversteer.
yeah. Almost done with it though. This is not going to be a record
Whoa.
time, but it's going to be a decent one, hopefully. Uh, has a little bit of trouble getting going around that corner, but 138, so just a little bit below average.
Mm-hmm. Somebody asking in the server is asking, what state do I live in? I live in the wonderful state of North Carolina.
So that's why you're in the same time zone as I am.
Yes, indeed.
Nice. Makes things better for stuff like this.
I could ramble on about North Carolina, but this is a rally showcase.
Yeah,
So we shall keep it
we are
on
talking about
subject.
rally, at least for now. I mean, the thing is, oh boy, is it gonna crash on me? Please don't crash,
Uh-oh.
Beam. Okay, no, we're good.
All right.
All right.
So the next car we have up,
Yeah, the next car is the S Rally specs. Oh goodness, this is gonna be hard.
here I'll try it.
You
I'll
got it?
take a stab
Okay.
at it. This is by Sanso Frother. I will say it's the Taudi Suzda S Rally specs. I hope I got that nearly correct.
Mm-hmm.
It is an inline 5, 2.5 liters, turbocharged. It is a very well-rounded number, 444.6 horsepower, with a weight of 1,254 kilograms.
Nice. So this one, 1,200 kilos. That puts it in the top class as well. Pretty heavy for this car. One thing to note is it has
is
three
indeed.
wings on the back. Like just as
It
we're
does.
talking about more wings is better, we come across a car with triple wings. Also full off-road tires and Supra rear lights, which is an interesting combination.
Well, I mean, the name was Suzda, so it's a parody.
Parody Supra. I think
Well, perhaps
it's like an RX-7 body, if I'm not
it's
mistaken.
looks like an amalgamation of a bunch of normal. Well, I say normal. Forgive me. Of everyday vehicles.
Yeah, it's oh boy. Okay, yeah, it's Supra slash I don't know RX-7 slash I haven't even seen the front. Can't really look around at this point, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. It's cool to see like automation can't give us full realistic bodies because obviously copyright from car manufacturers, but we can always kind of make our own little things as a mixture of different styles that we like, and I think that's why it's fun.
Mm. I will say many things on this are. Ooh, geez, those brakes. Many things on this are practical.
Yeah, it definitely had some pieces on there, at least at the front before they flew off, like a splitter and such. It's also got, I mean, all those wings are styling, but they're also practical, at least in our context. In real life, not so much,
But
but
however, I am noticing a little bit of understeer again.
oh, jeez, it wants to jump off a cliff. But yeah, definitely something that's going on with this. Same,
Perhaps bigger brakes are required.
yeah, it's got vented discs once again, which is good. Um, I'd like to see that. Something as well that's to note is the off-road tires. They're not as bad on this one. I don't know if it's just the way that it's set up. It's more like oriented to deal with it, but yeah, not as bad. That is a 237.
That's yeah, that's not that bad. It's a little bit faster than, well, I say a little bit. It's a couple seconds faster than average. So, it's respectable.
Yeah. All right, so we're moving on to the LHS Andromeda Rally.
I believe you skipped
Oh,
over Icrims.
I absolutely did. And it's also not. Yeah, it actually is Andromeda. I was like, did I read this right? So it's the knockoff Volvo. Oh, there are two of them? Two of them with an interestingly similar name. So it's the 850R spec. So it's a copy of the 850R.
Mm. So this is Icrim's submission. I will say the whole name. I'll
Mm-hmm.
try my best. I will say it's the Vuelvo 850 R-Spec SCT. It has an inline six, 2.5 liters turbocharged. It has 440.9 horsepower, and it weighs, forgive me, weighs 1,159 kilograms. So it has a power to weight ratio somewhat over average, 38.
Mm-hmm. That's getting up there. If you saw the front, I guess you'll see that soon. It's very Volvo styled, which is cool. I like the way that this one looks. It's nice and simple. Decent way to knock off a car. But yeah, it looks good.
So, yeah, it does indeed look like Volvo. So, but however, very suitable for this sort of thing.
Yeah, I think so. So far, driving pretty well. It feels like it's rear-wheel drive, which... Did I miss a checkpoint? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. I was like, oh, no.
So perhaps the all-wheel drive is more biased towards the back.
Seems so. Could be mistaken. But it does... I don't know. It's this thing feels like it has quite a bit of power. It's got a lot of speed potential. It feels like one of the more top speed oriented cars. Like, I remember back when we first made this, and people were speculating on what kind of gear ratios would work best. They were talking about limiting the top speed, but this is a pretty fast track on the highway section, so to those who limited their top speed, it might be a little bit of a mistake.
Oh, there are some decent straights on this particular track, so who knows?
Yeah, I think we're getting up to like just over 120 kilometers an hour, but that could also be... Oh boy, I'm locking up the brakes at every corner here. But it could just be with this car. So, yeah, definitely you could get away with a restricted... Oh, I just flipped it.
Oh, Marcus Ikrim is saying in that it's actually very very much even bias between
Even
the
bias? Interesting. Oh yeah, I see that
yeah, it's a
45 to
40
55.
yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, so I kind of
So
rolled it, and I'm giving it another go here. So we'll
mm,
be able to get a hopefully better feel for it as we go down.
so I believe we also have discs on this one, if I'm correct.
Yes, it does appear to be discs. Oh
I
goodness.
see the roll now.
I also just lost the front splitter, so rest in peace to our front downforce.
May he
That's
rest in
okay.
peace.
That's okay though. We don't need it. Okay, we kind of do need it though. Oh boy. I don't think it would have lasted too much longer after I just took the bumps on that corner. Um, Yikes.
So what would you say is what do you like about this one?
I like the way
Let me
this
ask that.
one looks. I like the way this one drives as well. It seems like, I don't know, this doesn't really seem like a rally car. To me, it seems more like a touring car. Like,
Mm.
seems more like it's going for that top speed oriented type stuff rather than um, like super quick acceleration and tight handling.
Well, we kept well, I say you kept. I didn't know what track this would be either until
Yes.
really a couple of hours ago. So, but we kept it hidden. I'd say hidden. We didn't reveal the track purposefully so that we can have the questioning of what should I do with this? What should I do with that? Should my top speed be higher or should I go for something more, a lower gear ratio?
Yeah, exactly. So it's cool to see that some people are experimenting with different things. Like, if I had just said the track right away, like we put the track in the rules, then people would tune specifically for the track, and then they
Exactly.
would race on the track, and then they'd already have times, and then we could just create our own leaderboard with like other people's times, and then mine could be compared to that. But like in this way, people are guessing, people are experimenting, having discussions about like what potentially the track be, and then it was cool to see Argon like come up with his own leaderboard of things on a track so people
Yes.
could see. But
I
then,
would like to I
mm,
would like to personally give kudos to Argonbyte. He went through trial and tribulation of testing every single car that was in the particular channel in the Discord and any car that he was given.
so that was a pretty big feat. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing now, except on stream. But yeah, like I know how it feels.
With a different driver as well.
Yeah, so it's cool that that happened because then people could use his stats to test their own car, and yeah, that's kind of cool.
So we have a time of 227.8. That's a very respectable time.
Yeah, that's one of the faster times on the board so far. Up next, I've already started with it. It's the Generics LHS Andromeda Rally. Um,
Yes.
yeah, which
So
I
we have a V6. It is 2.1 liters turbocharged for the V6 engines. Unfortunately, they can only be twin turbos. That's just a limiting feature of automation currently.
yeah,
It has 358.3 horsepower, and its weight is 1,239 kilograms. So its power to weight is near average, 29.
yeah, 29. That's very close to average.
I'd like to say all of the sponsorships are absolutely on point.
Yeah, I think that money was needed for this engine because it's quite a good one. Interestingly, this is the first of the Corvette bodies that I can recall that we've done so far. But there will be many, many more.
To come.
We're not done with the Corvettes yet. This one has an interesting issue. Oh goodness, where if you go over a corner a little bit too quickly, it sort of jumps a little bit at the back. Not exactly sure why that is, but that is something
That's an
that it does.
interesting issue.
Yeah, it
Oh,
happened a few
I
times.
believe perhaps it's the brakes locking up.
Oh, it could be the brakes locking up as well. Um, this one, I mean, most of the cars don't have ABS, so yeah, people did not budget for that, which is understandable. So locking up the brakes is just a natural part of life in this track, or with this showcase. Okay.
Canadian Steel, nice to see you have showed up.
Yeah, your car is in there, I know for sure. I just don't know where. It might be quite a while before that one pops up.
I see a question about what are the units for power to weight?
So the units are weird because it's horsepower to kilograms.
So I see.
Yeah, so it's very simply just dividing the two. It's horsepower divided by kilos.
Well, in that case, they will be decimals. So I imagine you've divided the weight by the power.
Oh, whoops. So yeah, okay. So it's in the order that it's in on the actual chart. Let me see, just to confirm.
MOF box, the budget was $40,000, or in-game currency, I guess.
Yeah, so it's it's horsepower divided by weight.
Are, I'm just okay.
Yeah.
Forgive me if I'm questioning.
If that's correct, I do not know. I mean, generally, the unit itself, like the power to weight ratio is power over weight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was going by.
Right. So Generic's car has put in a 234.6. Again, quite respectable. The next one has a very interesting name. I'm going to try this.
Oh yeah.
From 06 DPA, the Ma Bois Rima B Rally.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
That's a mouthful.
It's
It has a Boxer 6, 1.25 liter. It has a very modest 151.5 horsepower and a weight of 846 kilograms. So its power to weight ratio is incredibly low. It's about 18.
Yikes. So that is definitely on the lower end of the power to weight ratios that we've seen so
Definitely
far.
on the lower end.
Some of them are
But
more than triple that. So
yes,
it's kind of hard to see cars with lower power to weight ratios based on my own units that may or may not be correct. I guess we can look up that at some point because I'm mixing metric and imperial.
thank you, Ikrim. I didn't understand that you've multiplied the result by 100.
Yes, so
Thank you.
that's how
Yes.
it works.
Thank you. I was wondering what the issue was.
Otherwise, there'd be a lot of 0.0s. So yeah.
See you later, Shadow Aura. Thank you for showing up.
Oh, geez. Okay, so this one is actually decently quick. I'm glad that I got my units right on the power to weight ratio, by the way. That'd be pretty embarrassing. But anyway, this one, a much smaller car. It's a very interesting body. I think this is the only car using this body that is in the showcase out of 176. So very unique.
Indeed. I notice it has very small wheels.
It does have pretty thin wheels, but it also, oh goodness, it's not that powerful. I mean, 151. It's not got that much power.
Although, it does seem to be rather quick. I'm surprised.
No, it is not slow. Being so light, like the power to weight ratio.
The power to weight ratio is very, very low.
It's low, but it's still quick for whatever reason.
It's for some reason it is still rather quick. So maybe that's because of, and this is educated speculation, I'd say that's the lack of downforce.
Possibly. It has no spoilers. It does not have any
doesn't.
lips that I can see unless they flew off. Maybe there wasn't. Oh, actually, fixtures don't cost money, so you could put some of those things on there, no doubt. So I guess sacrifice for the name of style is in this case.
Perhaps, indeed. And speaking of the style, I'd say this one is also relatively well crafted.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I'm about to roll off a cliff. So, okay, I'm right at the end, but I'm gonna try again. I was gonna try and finish it, but then take like 10 seconds off from my failure, but I think that's just kind of not fair, so we'll give it another go.
It showed up on stream. Good grief.
Yeah, I know. I got it stuck on the cliff. My mistake. Needless to say, it's good to drive this one again. It's pretty easy to drive. Not a bad car overall, to be honest.
Pure Demon, we are not locking the diffs. simply for simplicity, and
Yeah.
also just to keep the time as crunched as possible.
So the reason I'm not doing that is just because it's like one extra step for every car, and
Yeah.
oh goodness, I'm like driving in the weeds with this one. Okay, one more time. So yeah, one more time with this car. But yeah, the reason I'm not liking diffs and stuff, I don't want to do it for cars and then forget to do it for another one. Just because these streams are so long already, I know it's gonna happen where I'll end up forgetting to do something like that. So it just makes more sense to just leave it as is, just the car as built, and then we drive it as like it
Someone
is.
someone in the Discord has pointed out something very important, and
Okay.
that is, by the way, he has a wonderful name, Capitalism Ho. Uh, the interesting thing that he has pointed out is the cars that usually have higher horsepower, but their displacement is much smaller because of the turbos, is
Mm-hmm.
that they will usually have quite a bit of turbo lag. So one thing that is helping this particular vehicle is that there isn't any turbo lag. It doesn't have a turbo.
Oh, true. I guess that makes it a lot more responsive.
So it's a much more even curve instead of a magnificent spike, I
Mm-hmm.
suppose.
Yeah, I mean, so far, none of the cars have been particularly bad in terms of turbo lag. I guess I kind of, I mean, I anticipated that they would be well at the beginning. Oh, goodness, I've just.
However, there are 176 to go through, so we shall see.
So, this is a special case where I've wedged this car into a rock, and I've corrected it by just pulling it out of the rock with the node grabber. But we're going to continue anyways. We'll just give it whatever time it gets here.
So I apologize, 06 DPA, but we just got to roll with it.
Pretty much. My mistakes are as inconsistent as it gets, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's it's not exactly. Oh goodness, it's not. I mean, it's not unfair. It's just kind of my fault. I don't know how to put it. Like the reality is, I keep saying this in streams and stuff, but I'm driving every car, so it's like my errors spread out between 176 vehicles. If we were switching up drivers or something, then it would matter. But just because it's me all the way, I don't think so. Right, we're actually going to finish this time, and I'm very determined to do so. I'm thinking that I probably should have just used that first run and just corrected it in the same way that I did on this third one, with the node grabber. Might have to add a little asterisk to the rules on that one. If car gets stuck like that, but it's still perfectly functional, I can fix it. But we'll see. I'm probably not going to run into that too often.
Axios has actually made an interesting suggestion. Once we finish up tonight, maybe we could point out our favorites and some of the less so.
Okay. So we'll probably end up going through like, I don't know, maybe 40 cars today. So it's going to be quite a decent pool to choose from. Yeah, we'll have to see.
So it has finished up, and we have a 249.4.
All right, so we're switching up to the S&B. Oh boy.
Shuvashia
Maybe.
1800 turbo.
Yeah, so this one, it's the Russian character's name. So
I cannot pronounce
no,
that.
it cannot pronounce
Forgive
that
me.
either.
But however, the Shuvashia, I'm just gonna say that until I hear otherwise.
Mhm.
It has an inline 5. It is about 1.8 liters, and it has a very respectable amount of horsepower, 382.3, and a weight just above 1,000 kilograms.
That should be a pretty decent power to weight ratio there.
It would be 38.
Nice. So that's oh geez. That bottom corner always catches me off guard, but yeah, that is a decent power to weight ratio, and usually these small cars are just like quick. I don't know why.
Speaking of the small cars, this body I've seen used plenty of times. This particular one.
Goodness. Yeah, no, it is it's definitely one of the better bodies, I think, for this showcase. I know a lot of people went with the Corvettes. A lot of people also went with the Audi body, like the Audi Quattro. I've seen quite a few of those when I was exporting earlier today. But there are still quite a few small cars being used and definitely taken advantage of, as like lightweight small cars are usually going to be the faster ones.
Mm. So it's a tried and true formula, so we have to respect it.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that'll be cool at the end of this, we're gonna have a lot of numbers at the end, so we should be able to come up with some interesting stats, at least some slight, goodness, what's the word for it? Basically, just statistical analysis of these cars versus their powers and such. That was the idea of putting it all in. Hopefully, I can come up with some decent data for people to see so that the next showcase we do, you can sort of see what's going on. I mean, like, you can see some interesting trends within the data already, such as
Mm.
i5s. I think an i5 holds the current highest horsepower out of all the cars in the list currently. It's like 600 and something horsepower out of a 2-liter i5, but some of the engines are better
That
than others,
is
and it's cool
right.
to see that.
Experimentation. We've mentioned this before. Experimentation can lead to many innovations.
Basically. And also, we just have the new fastest time here with this car. That is a 222.
Wow, that's actually cut off quite a chunk
Yeah,
from Moritz's car, the Enduro.
that's a big gap.
That is indeed.
Okay, next is the ISO 9F Group B. It's Corvette body car.
So this is by Alexander. It
Yes,
is an inline six, 2.85 liters, 411.7 horsepower, and 1196 kilograms. So its power to weight ratio is a bit less, but who knows? Perhaps the internals on this one will be well crafted.
so as a difference, I mean, the last Corvette we did was the LHS Andromeda car. This one is quite a bit lower. It sounds very much the same. Oh goodness. Even though this one, I think this is a V8, right? The last one was V6.
Uh, this current one is an i6. The
i6.
Andromeda was a V6.
V6, i6. Interesting. Comparison here between the two. But this one is quite fast as well. Oh boy. It seems more, I don't know. This one to me seems very similar to that. The one I previously stated kind of seems more like a touring car than a rally car. Like it seems like it's much more speed oriented, which is a good way to mix things up.
So, what would you say is the most prevailing issue with this, just in the short time you've been driving it?
So this one, it's not bad. I think handling could probably be worked on. Oh goodness. Yeah, it's not a bad car though. I think it's well done. Oh boy, I like the styling of it as well. It looks very 80s, which is cool. Oh boy, the all-wheel drive is interesting. All right, we're almost getting up to the climbing section of this map. 135 so far. I'm not really paying attention to those split times, but I guess that could be a good way to see which areas can be improved on. I don't think this one's going to smash the record, but I think it's going to do pretty well. Oh geez, unless I drive off a cliff. Yeah, that's off a cliff. We're going to try that one again. You see some 59 power to weight ratios in the chat or in the chart. Yeah, so like I said, there are mostly cars around 30 power to weight ratio, but then there are some that are up there like 59, 60. Pretty high, pretty dangerous for those of you who are at like 17 or so. Anything under 30 is definitely on the low end. Right, so for this one, it's pretty, I don't know, pretty easy to drive, except for that that section that I kind of messed up at the end. But this one's pretty agile, I think. Like it's not a hard one to get around the corners or to jump over rocks like that with. But it really is forgiving, especially on acceleration, which is cool. Like,
Well,
yeah,
don't mean to insult your drive, your ability to drive. Forgive me, but something that will be relatively forgiving is probably going to be more easier to drive, and thus will probably get a somewhat quicker time.
no, definitely. I have very much admitted before that I'm not good at driving. That's a pull. That's a really good example right there of why why I say that. Like I'm not that great at driving games, although I play them quite often. Still, haven't really picked up on it. I guess I just don't have that natural skill that some people do. I really have to work at it. But yeah, like this is a good way to learn how to do it better. Driving 176 cars on the same track is a really good way to get to know the track well. And it's the same way with some of the previous tracks that we've done. I think
Yep.
like as these showcases go forward, I'll definitely be able to improve, hopefully. But we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris Mayro has brought up a quote by a consider. At least every car is tested with equal incompetence.
Exactly. That pretty much sums up what we're doing here. The competence is equal, and the cars are not, so we find out what kind of times we can get with them. Oh boy. Okay, we're not gonna make the same mistakes we did last time. That's part of learning, I guess. Oh jeez. Alright, so this one, hopefully we'll finish up on this lap. It is pulling ever so slightly to the left based on a previous collision that we've had, and it's
Mm.
not going to be able to cut that corner in the way that I like to, which is unfortunate, just because of the braking. I guess it's not working in one corner currently.
Well, perhaps. Well, let's see. What brakes does it? Looks like discs. No, vented. Forgive me. It
Yeah,
looks like vented
it's
discs.
vented discs from the looks of things. All right, up the hill we go. Hopefully, hopefully we can get through this. Come on, come on. There we go. That entrance there is always a little bit awkward.
So C6 asks the question: do you consider extreme understeer easier to control than oversteer? I'll answer this one myself if that's all right to say.
Yeah, no problem.
So, back in the day, there was a wonderful show. Well, it's still going, but there were three plucky people. There was a wonderful show called Top Gear. They explained it rather well. So with oversteer, you have a situation where you're trying to go into a corner and you kick the tail out and you ram the back end into the tree, thus you are dead. If you have understeer, you can't turn and brake it properly, so you'll ram yourself into your front of the car into the tree, thus you will be dead.
So either way you die.
Generally, either way you either way you die, but
Well,
in
that's
general,
unfortunate.
understeer, to be honest, generally understeer is better to control.
Well, hopefully that answers your question. Uh,
So
yeah.
so this time is a relatively up there,
Mm-hmm. So
and
that was a 232.9.
that's very respectable.
Yeah, I think the average is slowly getting closer to 230, which is understandable. That's basically what I
Mm.
had anticipated. This next one is no, it's an i4. It says i6 on it, but I guess, is it lying? No, it's an i4, but it says i6 on the back, so it is lying. Um, but it's another Corvette body car, so let's see what this one will do.
This one looks fantastic, by the way. It looks fantastic. So this is ZF. This is the ZEC XX Rally. It is per the spreadsheet we have. It's an inline four. It is about 2.85 liters turbocharged. This one is probably up. This is the one you mentioned before. It has 688 horsepower even, and
Nice.
its weight is 1,200 kilograms. So this has a power to weight of 57.2.
57, yikes. So that is one of the higher ones for sure on the leaderboard currently. We'll get to see what it's like. Goodness, it's quick. It's so much so that it shakes under braking. But yikes, this one can hold a corner really well. You just have to be confident with it, which so far I am not.
Well, it seems, from what I'm seeing, it seems to be driving okay.
Yeah, it's definitely driving well. I think,
Oh,
especially coming down that one section there, I got a little bit too carried away with it. And also going over the curb, it also has incurred a small bend of the wheel. But we're going to keep going because it'll still go well, hopefully around here. It's going to suffer a little bit because of it, but nothing too major.
well, I can say it definitely looks low.
Oh yeah, it's a low one for sure. Definitely more race oriented, but it does
Hmm.
have some decent acceleration. Being all-wheel drive is a huge bonus for this one, I think.
So
600 horsepower.
for those who are debating this, you can definitely tune the turbo to give you the power much more earlier than it usually would be. I would say we've discussed this plenty of times. A good place to have it is around 4,000 RPM, but I'm gonna guess that for this one turbo probably kicks in very quick.
Yeah, it seems like this one is maybe a smaller turbo. Not sure.
Well, I wouldn't say it's even a small
Ooh,
turbo.
goodness.
The amount of power that it has for the engine size is astronomical.
Right. So unfortunately, due to a few driver errors, it's not going to break any records. But I honestly don't think it would have anyway. It seems like our 222 will stand for a while. That car was just very controllable and very quick. So moving on, we got the Yugo. Oh boy, another a knockoff Yugo.
Two, two Slavia GTR Sport. This is by Bryce, and this one has a V10. So this will be the most amount of, I believe, the most amount of piston. No, forgive me. Earlier on, we had a V10. It's about the same size. It's about 4.05 liters. It has dead even 481 horsepower, and it has a weight of 1,236 kilograms.
So
And
let's
it's,
oh sorry.
forgive me, the power to weight is about 39. It's 38.9.
Okay, so it's definitely on the higher end of the power to weights. But this car is tiny and it's got a V10.
It does look small. It looks very small.
It's also got huge wheels to compensate for that. It's also very tall as well. I think
Mm,
this ride height is probably just a little bit too high. It probably has to be this high
perhaps.
because of its rear wheels, which are massive. But
Mm.
being a V10, oh geez, it's quick, as you would suspect.
So, what tire choice do you believe is on there? Is it gripping all right on the tarmac as well as the dirt?
I am not sure what tire this is. I guess we can wait for the owner to confirm that, or the author, I mean, to confirm that. But it feels okay. Like, it's not having wheel spin issues, which is important, especially for such high power. All-wheel drive is probably helping that quite a bit, but those massive rear wheels are definitely doing something. If we just hit the straight here and just accelerate, like, this thing will move 150 kilometers an hour. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the area that it suffers, I think, like, it's got pretty thin front wheels, probably to make up for the to help it steer basically around the corners. Like if you have really fat front wheels, you're not going to be able to get around as easily. But it seems like, I don't know, it just seems like the back might be just a little bit too wide.
Well, I can say one thing. Bryce is in the chat, so
Oh,
we can
perfect.
ask.
Yeah, feel free to comment on your car if you see it, if you're wanting to give some insight into it. Oh, jeez. Okay. Okay, we're gonna try to avoid hitting these rocks as well. Attempt not to die. Okay, far too slow around that last corner, but we are pretty much there. Just have to cross the line with this one. Come on, under 30. So that's a 228.
Again, very, very respectable. So, Bryce, well done.
Yeah, not bad. The V10 is an interesting choice. It's cool to see.
But apparently it was a good choice. It
Yeah,
did him well.
yeah, I think so.
So, who do we have next?
Up next is the Whisper Zero.
Group B.
Yes, a lot of them just have Group B in the name, so it's kind of, yeah.
It's simple.
There are quite a few cars that were literally just named Group B, so it's easy to get them confused.
Indeed.
Oh, I just typed in an I instead of an H. Whisper.
So
There
this
we
is
go.
built by Miles K. This is a 4-liter V8. We have 438.8 horse and 1,154 kilograms. So it has about a fairly similar power to weight. It's a little bit lower, 38.
38, okay.
Miles Knight is the full name. He's in chat.
Ah, okay. Miles Knight, yeah. Oh, so
So
this one has some mighty wings, which will be taken into
does it?
consideration here.
Oh, it does indeed. Look at wow.
Another of the Corvette body style cars, but my goodness, that front wing.
It looks well. I'll say it is very well crafted. It's just personally, it looks very interesting.
Yeah, interesting is the right word for it. It's unique.
So perhaps since he's in chat, I would like to ask Miles, since you're in here, take us through some of the design choices that you made here while we see Autoflux race this.
I'm attempting to not lose the rear wing on one of these corners, as I've done in the past with a few cars. We'll just hope that it stays on for the entire duration of this run. Yikes. Okay. This is an interesting car. It bobs up and down when you accelerate. I've been coming up and off. Goodness, I've been coming on and off the gas, like a few times throughout here. But when you hit those brakes or you accelerate hard, it like moves forward or backwards in correspondence with that. Oh jeez. But it's quick.
So, yeah, this does look a bit like a time attack. I see some people saying that in chat.
Time attack? Oh yeah, no hill climb car right here. I guess
Yeah,
it'll be
Miles confirms the front wing is for downforce.
nice. So no front lip, instead front wing, or does it have a front lip too? It might have left, so I'm not sure.
That could very well be possible. So he says it's probably on mediums.
Mediums, okay.
Medium compounds.
Yeah, I think the medium compound is working well. This car does have good grip.
I'm gonna say it. This may be the one to break. The 222.
The 222? Maybe. Don't jinx it yet, though. I'm not done the run. Oh boy. Like, there's always a chance that I go off the cliff here, or
Well,
get
I
hung
mean,
up on a corner.
obviously the stream is a bit behind for me watching. So, but it looks fairly stable. It looks very well handled.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. I think it's, oh goodness. Let's get it through the track.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it's a 226. Mild spoiler. So,
Ah.
a fast time, but not fast enough.
But that is still very well done, Miles. I believe that puts it in second place.
226?
Yeah,
I'm not
I
sure.
believe so. The ones I've seen before is all 220, yeah, 227. So this one is first.
Okay, so next one, there are a few called XRT here. Yeah, this one's the XRT BC, which is interesting.
So this is by Nikos V. I'm going to attempt to say the name. This is Thyroleon XRT-B-
Okay, we should be back online momentarily.
Oh, black screen on the stream.
Black screen? How about this?
It's
Well,
coming back to us.
slowly coming back.
Yep, everybody's saying it's back.
Okay, that's good.
Are we here? Everybody, are we here?
Still alive?
Okay, yep, I see the
The background?
yes, the pause screen.
Sweet. Okay, hold on a
So
minute.
for everybody who's still here,
Sorry
what is
about
up?
the mild
What is
issue
up?
there.
And I cannot stress this enough. My fellow gamers. I had to.
Alright, hold on a minute. So, game, beam, did it break? Okay, no, it works. Sweet. Alright, I'll just
Okay,
give
we
it a
have a working
second.
beam as well.
Here, just give it a second to catch back up. And then we should be good to go again. It seems like that was an OBS issue. Not 100% sure why it crashed, but it took a while to shut down completely. But yeah, seems like we're going good. Okay, just want to make sure that the preview is working, and then I'll get started again. Okay, sweet. Let's get moving. So all I did was I just paused the run. So you didn't miss anything. We're just gonna keep going. Oh, goodness. Okay, hold on. And I think I might have busted the car pretty quickly into this. So you know what? Let's just be fair. Let's just redo it. What I want to do though is bring back. There it is. Yeah, OBS kind of died, but we're still here, despite the issues. The stream will continue. Right, so we're just going to do this run again, basically just because, I don't know, I probably should. After that small issue and also crashing it, we should definitely give it a shot. So, let's try again.
And we're off to the races.
Yes, thankfully. Alright, so I did make it pretty far last time, but we can just redo that again. No big deal.
It does. This is an interesting point. It does look kind of like a Passat.
An
For
80s
some reason.
Passat, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think this is the
just
86 body.
Right.
But I guess you can kind of form it into what you want it to be.
Indeed.
Oh goodness, that was a poor corner. Yeah, sorry, you were saying?
So, what would you say is the most? Is there a prevailing issue with this one?
Issue with this one, other than my driving, it would be, it would be that it kind of likes to be a little bit tail happy. It's a little bit dangerous coming into some of the corners. I don't exactly know what is causing that.
So it might be the bias,
Could be
the
bias,
all-wheel
yeah.
drive bias.
Okay, take that straight on so we're not going to bend any tie rods or anything. And we should be able to finish properly this time as long as OBS stays. Hopefully this stream will stay up like on a permanent basis now. Oh yeah, this one's got some wheel spin as well. That could definitely be
So
sorted.
that might be, yeah, that's probably one of the reasons behind the.
Yeah, I would think so. Yikes. Okay, come on. Into the little thing. That was probably the slowest entrance into there that we've had, but... Oh, wow. Okay, the rocks are not particularly favorable with this car. We're going to keep it going regardless.
Yeah, got some people saying that it looks more like a Scirocco, which I can also see.
I guess so. I guess it... I don't know. I haven't seen one of those for a while, so I'm kind of forgetting what it looks like. But I know what car that is.
So, something I noticed on your little accident going into the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Very thin wheels.
It definitely does have thin
Relatively thin.
wheels. That could be the source of the wheel spin issues.
Yes, that could be.
Oh goodness. Okay. No flying off the ledge today. We're going into the gate. Finally, with this car, that is a 241.
So that's a little bit. It's a little bit slower than average.
Yeah, it is.
The new average, I should say.
The average is slowly becoming more
Going
and
up.
more competitive.
Yes. Up next, we have Jonathan A's Spartan 96X Rally Sport. It is
Yeah. There we go.
4-liter V8. I'm going to say, yeah, obviously naturally aspirated. 351.6 horsepower, and it has 1,111 kilograms. And so that would make the power to weight a 31.647.
And I've just realized there that I've reloaded the track by accident. But that's
Well,
okay. I mean, occasional reloading is going to be fine. But yeah, we've only
just
actually gone through 21 cars so far, and it's been almost 3 hours. So, yikes, it's going to be a while.
it probably will be.
Alright, I'm going to launch this one, trying to be quick with it. The Spartan is an interesting vehicle. Oh, goodness.
I will say
Interesting looking.
it looks very well designed. Yes,
It got a
indeed.
lot of decals on there.
Yeah, but I also think that all of the fixtures, along with the decals, are very well placed.
Hmm. I think it looks the part for this. It's weird though. Interesting use of the roof rack
Yeah,
pieces. Like they're on the sides.
it gives a lot of character to this one.
When I exported this one, I was wondering what those were for, and my first thought was like Mad Max, where they're like holding onto the side of the vehicles.
That's an
Like
interesting
you just
thought.
stand on the fenders and you hold the rails, right?
That's
That's
an
how you take
interesting
passengers.
thought. So, who was this? This was made by. This was made by
Jonathan A.
Jonathan. Yeah. So if Jonathan A, if you are in the chat, please allude us to the use of the roof racks on the sides.
Please, I would love to know.
I would love to know as well.
You can see the Spartan symbols very much central at the back. It's very well done.
Yes,
Usually
indeed.
struggle quite a bit with those, but that one is that's a good way to do it.
Yeah. Again, it looks. Again, going back to all of the details of this, it looks very 80s.
Yeah, it does. Very retro aesthetic, which is cool.
So, Dane, please. I just want to compliment some of these people.
Oh, somebody in the chat?
Yeah, Dane wants us to record how many times I say it looks very well designed.
It's gonna be for every car. It is well designed.
Mostly for every car.
Art is
Mostly for
subjective,
every
okay?
car, I believe. It is, indeed. It is very subjective.
That's the excuse that we give. For me, like, generally I just say everything is interesting. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
An interesting choice. I say that as well.
Alright, next one is the Flex. Oh, not gonna do it that way again. Not gonna make the same mistake twice. Flex RB. Sauron Flex RB?
Saurian?
Saurian?
This is
Yeah.
by... Yeah. This is by Austin. It is a Boxer 4, 2.5 liters, 275.2 horsepower with a very somewhat hefty weight of 1,052 kilograms, but that does give it a power to weight that's about average, 26.1.
Hmm. So 26.1 is a little bit lower on the general scale of things.
Yeah,
Especially after we drive some cars that are up in the close to 60. But honestly, it doesn't feel. Oh, that's some lag there. It doesn't feel that much different. Um,
this
oh,
looks a bit like a, especially those rear lights, it makes it look like a sort of JDM.
so it kind of just did a roll. I'm gonna assume that that was just a bit of a flex, and we're gonna keep going. And one thing to note about this car, other than the lag issues it currently is presenting, um, it's got rear drum brakes, which is unique. That is something that
Ooh,
you do not see
indeed.
too often. I think,
That's very interesting.
yeah, I think almost every car has been all discs. People definitely want to invest in the discs, but apparently not this one.
Well, it has, if I'm correct in saying, it looks like it has vented in the front, or is that the drums?
It does appear to have vented in the front, but it has drums in the back.
Right. Yeah. See, I figured.
Yeah. I'm very. Oh wow, that is so odd. This car in particular is lagging really badly, and I don't know
It's
why.
it's actually showing up on stream. That's
Yeah, like
interesting.
the frame rate is going down quite a bit with this one. I'm not sure if it's this car or if it's something's going on in the background, but it is causing some
Well,
collisions.
it hasn't happened with any of the other cars,
No, it hasn't.
so
So
maybe
I don't know.
it
Could
might be
be a
something
background process.
underneath.
Could be me. Could be the car. Not sure. But after this one's done, I'll take a quick look and see if there's
Yeah,
anything running that shouldn't be. Oh
this
boy.
wow, that's an interesting slide. It's it's an interesting issue.
It is, yeah. We've been encountering a few issues with the stream so far, but yeah,
But
just keep
it's
going
but
anyway.
it's only been this particular one. Maybe it's the light.
It could
It
be the
might be the
light. The
lights.
light is like very, very bright. I don't know exactly know why that is.
Very.
Um, it's also huge. I guess it's that fixture, but yikes.
Perhaps.
Wow, that's really bad. Okay, I'm gonna.
Yeah, Marsilio. This it's because of the frame drops. I'm gonna guess. It's frame the frames dropping is definitely a hindrance when you're trying to drive a vehicle
Yeah,
in BeamNG.
it's definitely not helping. If anything, this one is damaged, but okay, that's a almost 3 minute time. But it also did a flip.
Oh,
It has some interesting styling points,
so
and we'll
I think
also
that
forever know that it was the one with the bad frame rate.
so yeah, that actually puts it as the slowest time we have on the board.
Oh boy. Um,
So
yeah, I'm
by about
sorry to Liam for, or not Liam, Austin for that one.
Liam is up next, please.
Liam is next, yeah.
So yeah, forgive us, Austin, but there's something funky. I'll say funky about that one.
Let's see if it continues with this next car. If it does, then I'll have to, I guess, reload the track, and then if that keeps happening, then it'll be restart beam time. But,
Speaking of the next car,
mhm.
next one is by Liam. It is the Premier Rally. It is a 4-liter V10. It has just shy of 300 horsepower, and its weight is about 1,119 kilograms. So it's about the same power to weight ratio, but perhaps this one won't cause this. Oh, that is a very interesting body.
Yeah,
That's an older Corvette.
oh, it's quite an interesting one, and you'll notice that the lines on it are quite distinctive, especially the rear taillights. The
It's
rear
very.
taillight line actually follows the chrome all the way around it.
I'll have to say it. This might be one of the more well designed visually. It's visually pleasing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like it. I like the color. Liam is also the master of the Prius, if you remember from one of the previous showcases that we did.
Ah, yes, indeed.
Yeah, he's the creator of that. At least I think it's the right Liam. But yeah, this is a very interesting one. I like the way that it looks. It's also got some rally lights on the front, which we can't really see, but it's a pretty fast car as well. And interesting to note, there are no lag issues anymore, so it was that one
It
car.
must have, yeah, it must have been the rear lights.
Very, very odd with that one. Have never had that happen before, but interesting to see in this showcase.
So it seems like this is driving very well.
Oh yeah, this one is driving quite well. It's quite a fast car, but it's not like insane. It seems like the brakes, it might have ABS, not sure about that, but it's not locking up as bad as some of the other ones, even though I'm braking in the same way, with the same sort of aggressiveness. I think that like this one's probably not going to break any records. Oh geez, especially not after I do that.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, needless to say, we're going to try that one again. You'll see what happened in a second.
I believe I will.
Right, let's let's keep going.
Well, I have visual on the front. There are some very small rally lights.
There are.
That was an interesting turn of events.
No,
Literally
it
turn.
was a literal turn of events there as I turned and then there was an event. Not a particularly good one though. Oh
No.
goodness, and we're going down a cliff again. Well, this one's going for an adventure, but we're gonna try it round 3. Both times have been my mistake there, admittedly, so yeah. Let's try and get it around
So,
properly this time.
right, so before all of these accidents, I'll say, I was going to say that it has a very, uh, I'm trying to find the right word, but it's very, it seemed like visually it has a very, uh, exquisite, that's the word, it's very exquisite, but as you take it around the track, it's also very, very powerful.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I unfortunately just bent the wheel on it, coming around one of the first few corners, but we're gonna have to continue as I drive it here. I think this one is just, like, it's one of those, like, well, it drives well. I'm trying to make it go fast around these corners, but we're just running into some unfortunate situations where it attempts to jump off of cliffs constantly. Um,
I,
yeah.
I don't think this has S.
No
I
ABS?
see it bouncing when it.
Oh, goodness. I think you might be cutting out a little bit on the call, potentially. But, yeah. Oh boy, okay. So we're gonna try to get up to the hill without dying this time. I'm gonna try not to fall off the cliff again. Just didn't go too well last time.
It didn't seem so.
Yeah, okay, we gotta be a lot more careful upon the entrance of this final cliff area, this hill
I'd
climb.
also like I'd also like to say for the record, I'd say this is one of my favorites. It may not be fast, but it has a lot of character, and I'm definitely partial to any sort of older Corvette style body. So, it gets a lot of points for me there.
Nice. This will be one to keep in mind, I guess, at the end when we talk about which one was
Yeah,
our
indeed. Indeed.
favorite. I think this one is very unique as well, which is a good thing. It's cool to see some unique cars.
It is quite unique.
Yeah, like a lot of them, like there are 176 cars, so it's easy for them to kind of blend together, but this is one that'll always stand out, so yeah.
Yeah, if with 176 cars, noticeable you're going to see noticeable trend.
That's for sure. Okay, so a 233 for this car.
That is not bad. I'll say that it's above average, or it's faster than average.
Yeah, it's not a bad car so far. Okay. Let's see though. I think that the leaderboards as we go further are just going to be getting more and more competitive. At least I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
P.A.R.R is the next one. 2400 LR Custom Group. That's an interesting name from Mike.
Indeed. It is a V6 with a 2.4 liter turbocharged, 381.3 horsepower, and it's very hefty for that amount of horsepower. 1,245 kilograms, but that does give it about an average power to weight ratio of 30.6.
So just a little bit higher than the previous car. Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. Power
That
to
is
weight
a
ratio
mighty
does
wing.
matter, but
That
it.
is a mighty wing.
Oh yeah, no, it is. That's a full-on table on the back.
I like the rear lights in a strange way. I like the rear lights.
It's an interesting looking car. I'm not sure whether that would be considered blue or like a dark purple color. Maybe it's just a dark
That's
blue.
well, for me, for what it's showing up for me on stream, it looks like a navy blue.
Navy blue? Yeah, it actually seems a little
Yeah.
darker than that, but I don't know. It's not just the wing that's a unique feature on this one. It's also got an antenna on the front. Seems a little.
That's an interesting place to put it.
Yeah. Oh, it likes to jump
Yes,
around.
yes, Lewis. Yes, Lewis Wayne. You could literally eat off of that wing.
No, you could. You just sit on the trunk and eat off of your giant carbon fiber wing. I'm sure the wing costs more than the actual car. Oh, goodness. Okay. Oh no, the game froze. Is that it? Oh no, I think Beam might have just crashed. Yikes. We seem to run into no end of small issues here on the stream. Oh no. So,
Because why not keep up the good content?
my computer just froze, and now it's just very slowly coming back.
Ooh,
That's
it's a
weird.
big problem. Oh, Beam and G is, the car is slowly rolling.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know what happened, but thank you, Jacob, for the donation. It seems like BMNG stopped my computer for a sec because it's not responding currently.
Well, I can still hear you.
Okay, that's good. Hopefully, stream crashed. The game. Oh boy.
No, it's just the game.
Yeah, it seems kind of odd. The game is currently frozen. We might have to restart Beam, but that's okay. Of all the issues, that's an easier one to deal with. Okay.
I don't know why.
Never mind.
Jacob Green's comment just reminds me of an interesting comedy bit I saw once. Self-help books for dogs. Because I can. Because I can. Anyways, that's my I keep saying interesting, but that's my sense of humor.
I'm trying to understand that one.
Self-help books for dogs.
Oh.
So there's... Yeah, exactly.
No, okay.
Because
now
I can.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, that's my interesting sense of humor.
Interesting.
And,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I keep saying that. It's just... I keep saying it.
It
but
seems
it's
like
true.
that's going to be the most common word on this entire stream series. Like, we still have a lot of time left.
It probably will be. It probably will be. So I see you're off to the races again.
Once again back on the track and actually driving, Beam decided to unfreeze. Not sure what was holding it up, but, well, it's working now, so can't complain too much.
I guess we're good. Yeah, I guess we're good.
Yeah, it seems, I think of all the streams I've had, this one has been running into the most issues, but at least we're still moving forward, and things are at least working.
Indeed. So again, what would you say is the thing that's helping this the most, and what would you say is the thing that's hindering this the most?
I think the thing that's helping it the most is probably its massive wing, of which it actually has
a lot of downforce.
a significant amount of downforce. It's a little bit wobbly, and it likes to jump around a little bit on some of the corners. But other than
So
that, it's pretty
perhaps,
decent.
so perhaps the suspension is a bit stiff.
Possibly. I don't know. I think this one is well balanced. I'm gonna keep saying that for like the next 176 cars. But it does feel like it's got some time into it, which is good. Yeah. I think in the past, like some of the cars, oh geez, frame rate died there for a bit. But some of the cars felt a lot more dialed in than others. And in this case, like most of the cars have people that actually spend time with them, so it's more of a consistent feeling. All right. Come on. All right. Let's hope that this one can finish this lap without me screwing it up too much. Maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to get through like 10 more cars today. That would be good. And we lost the mighty wing right at the end, but that's a
Oh,
225.
that's also a very, very quick time.
Yeah, not a bad time at all for that car.
So what was the last 225 I saw? It is the Enduro. So, Enduro still holds second, but Mike, you now have third place. Very
Nice.
respectable. Yeah,
Not bad.
indeed.
It's the big wing. Sometimes you
It
just
must
gotta
be.
slap a table on the back.
It, very well.
Okay, so this one is very odd in the sense that it has a hole right where the engine is so you can see it. Um, it's an inline
It's
5.
for the aesthetic.
714 cc's. Oh, yikes. Okay. Under 1
So
liter,
this
here we
is
go.
so this is Cole G's submission. It's literally called the Madman 164 ITA. It is an inline 5, 0.7 liters. You are hearing that right.
Yes.
However, 163.8 horsepower, excuse me, is quite respectable from that engine size. And its weight is also very low. 658.7 kilograms. However, its power to weight is still about 25.
So I think considering the class of cars that are under 1 liter, this one probably has quite a bit of power on most of those. Interestingly, it has incredibly thin wheels, and it also has a smokestack, which is cool. It's a very unique design for the Corvette body, but it's kind of cool to see something a little bit different every once in a while.
I hate to say it, but I don't see the purpose of a smokestack for such a small engine.
No,
No,
it's
no, not to insult the creator. It's a very interesting design choice. I'm going to keep saying it. Cold G. That's. I guess the proper word would be odd.
it is very odd. I think it's intended to be odd though. Also, it's low enough that it really bashed itself off the curb, so gotta be careful with that one.
So, well, that was an issue that we pointed out very early in this stream. Low bodies will have problems on those curbs.
And currently, it is sparking on the ground, so there's something hanging down low. Oh, jeez, it's frozen again. Right, I think I'm gonna end up having to restart beam, and also this run. Yikes. Okay, so it did freeze again, and that is why we've gone off of a cliff. I'm gonna restart beam and hope that that fixes it. So we'll just go for a quick restart here, just to make sure that things will be in working order. But it's kind of a good thing that we're getting closer to 10, because it seems like the issues are starting to ramp up a little bit.
Yes, they are indeed.
Something I've never
Sung Woo
experienced before,
Yoon?
though.
Sung Woo Yoon, thank you for being here ever since 500. I'll be honest, I joined in relatively late on this bandwagon. I'd say before you hit 9K, though. But I will say that I have thoroughly enjoyed my time within this community. It's such a very, I'm trying to think of the right word. It's very, very friendly. There we go. It's a very friendly community.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for being here.
And plus, we are all united in our overall love for automotive sports.
Pretty much. Like, the Discord is pretty diverse, I would say. It's
It
a
is.
diverse
Indeed, it
cast
is.
of characters. But it's
Diverse
cool
cast of
to,
characters is a very good way of putting it.
yeah, it's cool to see the community grow. I mean, we're only like 600 subs away from 10K right now, so like, stuff is happening.
Yeah, this is something I wanted to point out at the very beginning. So your first showcase was for one person. It was a
Yeah,
couple. It was a couple of cars. The second one was the same, but much more. And then the third one was the first one where you opened it up to the public, and that was about 60, if I'm correct. About
60?
60 cars.
I don't remember exactly how it went. I know
But
that the last one we did, like the normal showcase, it had 100
yeah,
146 cars,
yeah,
and then the one
that's
before that
yes.
was
The
like
last one had 146.
60 something. Is reasonable sounding.
So it's very very awesome, and I say awesome as in I am filled with awe that this community has grown to this magnitude.
Yeah,
It's fantastic to see.
it is cool to see. It's cool to see as like I don't know if too many people know like how YouTube kind of started for me. I guess that'd be a good thing to talk about. I won't go into too much detail, but I've been posting videos since like 2015, and I just kind of kept posting even though nobody was watching. And then eventually, I ended up having to take a break because I started to work full time, and I was being sent away, so I couldn't make videos. But when I came back, I started doing automation stuff, and that's when this community started to grow. And it's
That's when the bandwagon started.
pretty much, it's been cool to see that kind of stuff happen, like especially after so many years of being consistent with YouTube. Like that effort was not in vain in the sense like that nobody saw those videos, but at least people are watching them now, so it's cool to see.
I'd also like to say it's very fun to be a part of this thing.
Yeah, it's cool that that like you can be involved in this as well. I did not know, like when planning this showcase, I didn't really, especially at the beginning before you like goodness, before you expressed interest in wanting to be a part of it, like actually reviewing all the cars in the Discord, for example. Like that was a significant undertaking, and I couldn't have done it
Well,
without you. So
it is my
thanks.
pleasure. It really is a pleasure to be a part of this.
Yikes. Okay, so sorry. Back on the topic for a second. We're actually going to finish a lap with this car, which is good. Hopefully, we'll be able to go a while before the computer freezes again. For whatever reason, it kept doing that. Maybe too many things going at once. I don't know. 16 gigabytes of RAM isn't enough these days, apparently. But
Jeez.
yeah, that's sort of my main goal. Like when it comes to upgrades, I know people have asked me before, like, when are you getting a wheel type thing, but I really need a new computer
I've
before I
seen
get anything else.
I have seen those questions.
Yeah, eventually. Okay, so that's a 233 for that car.
That's actually fairly respectable. Still, it's very respectable.
All right, up next is the uh,
Oh,
Kralman KB Group B.
yeah, I believe that's the correct pronunciation. The Krallman KB Group B.
Yeah,
It
that
is
makes sense.
an inline 5, 2.5 liter, and it has a very modest 251.6 horsepower and weighs relatively lightly, 914.1 kilograms,
Hmm.
and its power to weight is 27.5. It's about average, I'd say, by Daniel
Okay.
G.
Yeah, that's just a little below what we anticipate the average being for that. Um,
I'll
yeah,
say
this
that
car.
this rear end is well designed, I'll say, but it's somewhat odd and those rims were gigantic.
Yeah, they are large rims. It's also completely vented in the rear for whatever reason. I just checked quickly and it's not rear engine, so I don't know why. Um, okay.
Maybe it's maybe it's the aesthetic.
This is the same body as quite a few of the other cars we've been seeing so far, the
Yeah,
86
the
slash
AE
Quattro.
86. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, forgive me, the Quattro type body.
Quattro 86. I think it's supposed to look like a Quattro. I can't actually see the front without crashing. I'm gonna try to preserve this run. Um, but yeah, that old Quattro style is a common one these days.
And yes, it is. I was about to say indeed, and I caught myself.
A few too many indeeds.
Perhaps.
Oh no, I'm gonna
I
run out
already
of
see people
words.
calling me out on the well-designed.
Well designed. Hey, we've got a new merch idea now. Oh no.
Perhaps. Perhaps.
Do that thing where YouTubers just like coin the words they say.
In any case, what would you say is the thing that is hindering this the most? There's a
This
little bit
one.
of trouble with this.
Yeah, this one's not bad. Its massive rims are weird, but it doesn't seem to be causing any issues. I think, if anything, a little more power would not be bad, but the responsiveness of it is good. Uh, yeah, it's not a bad driving one overall, and I think it actually has potential here to break the record that is a 218.
Whoa! That's interesting.
218.716. That is the fastest
I
time
say
yet.
interesting. That's fast.
That is faster by 4
So,
seconds than the current
Daniel
leader.
G, the choices you made, you've gotten the top spot.
Oh boy, we've got an interesting one coming up next. Um, interesting in quotes again. This is a micro car, the GAC Cougar 2, using the same body as the Bugo, but it's got a lot more vents, I'll say.
Golly, everybody has already turned this into a meme.
Oh boy, you're not gonna hear the end of that one. Um,
I don't have to. I'll be honest, I don't have to.
your new nickname.
Here we are with the very small hatchback body again.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
see.
So this one's stats 389 horsepower. Am I seeing that right?
Let's see. We have Joe T's GAC Cougar 2. It is
Mm-hmm.
an inline 5, 2.1 liters, 389.9 horsepower, and a relatively lightweight for that power, about 1,007 kilograms.
That
So
is
it has
quite light.
so we have a power to weight of 38.7.
38. Yeah, now this one, it feels very quick. It also has gigantic rear wheels. They're probably... if you took away the fenders and you just had those rear wheels... Oh, that was a rough thing over the curb there. But if you took away the fenders and just had the rear wheels, they might be the same width as the car is regularly. They are huge.
Thank you, Lewis Rain, for explaining that. The vents in the back.
Oh, okay. So there is a reason
So
for that.
yes, there is. So, Lewis Rain says that radiators will be put in the rear for extra cooling and engine space, and
Ah,
also
okay.
they don't get battered by rocks or filled with dust. Hence, they need the rear vents. The Quattro did it.
Ah, makes sense. So that's a true rally spec item there.
It is indeed.
That's cool. That's a cool little detail. Like, we wouldn't have figured that out unless you were here in the chat, so thank you
Yeah.
for
So
watching.
it's the community. They know a little bit more about you, the content creator, and myself, helping out the content creator.
Yeah, well, in this case, like they make the cars, right? So they know the intention behind each detail. We
That
can
is
only
true.
speculate.
That is true.
Okay, so that's another fast car. That is a 218.7. Oh wow, it is just very slightly slower than the Crawlman.
Wow.
218.761. So
Oh, just,
very very
just.
close. But that is a close second place.
So, well, Joe, take it. I mean, that's a very quick time for the both of them.
Yeah, really. 218s. Those are. It's cool to get that back to back. That is.
Yeah. I I keep repeating myself on this, but visually and it seems internally, some of these are very well designed.
Yeah. Well designed indeed.
So
It's
up next, I believe we have Crudic Channels, Crudicson Cantor V6, and which is in the name. It has a 3-liter V6, 280.9 horsepower, and it's just above the weight regulation, 960.4 kilograms. So it has a 29.45 power to weight ratio. Just about average, and it's the Porsche body, as I
It
see
is the
now.
Porsche body. The Porsche body is a common one. Even before I chose it for mine, yeah, it's a definite common one in this. I don't know. I didn't put down if they're rear engine or not. I think this one might be a front engine, so it's not real. Like it's not true Porsche style, but it is an interesting one. I think this one, like, it's got pretty small wheels again, but it does seem to grip pretty well, which is good. Oh, a little bit of lockup on the brakes coming down the slope and over the curb. I've been trying to take the curb straight on instead of turning over it, just because I've
So
bent a few rear wheels doing that.
we do have discs on this one.
Oh yeah, full discs. Oh jeez. Okay. This is back before the days of the carbon ceramic, at least in automation, so can't have the
Yes.
best of the best, unfortunately.
Silenced Potato. That's a very, very cool name. It is a 3-liter V6.
Pretty good sounding car. Oh goodness. This one is going to be quick as well. It seems we've got back-to-back quick cars, which is cool to see. The competition is heating up. And there haven't been as many drastic driving errors either, so hopefully I can keep that up.
So I will say one thing, just so I don't hear you repeating yourself in the stream. I do have the stream muted, so unfortunately I cannot hear the sounds of these cars.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But be that as it may.
I have it pretty quiet. I have the game audio quiet on purpose so that our voices can be heard. But I honestly don't know how quiet. It was just a very quick test earlier to figure that out. We'll have to rewatch the VOD to see what it's like.
I will, and as a matter of fact, rewatch this.
So it has frozen again.
Did you complete the lap?
It is right in the gates.
Let's just... Perhaps we should wait and see?
I think it's gonna complete, but I mean this is different this time.
just right in front of the gates.
Yeah, it's frozen right in front of the gates. What the heck? Microsoft Windows is not responding. Okay, never mind. It's back. Wow. These are issues that I've never seen before. But at least we made it through. Yeah, no, that was a really bad freeze there. I've never seen that in all my computering days.
So did we... Okay, we did get a time.
We did, yeah.
234.281. So that's still decently quick.
Yeah. It froze there, but we were still able to communicate, so that was pure BeamNG freezing, which is an interesting thing to happen.
So we have up next, I believe, Aiden S. It is the Calm RS. It is a 4-liter V8, 443 horsepower even, and it's just shy of 1,100 kilograms. So this puts it power to weight ratio relatively high at 40.34.
Oh, 40.34, so definitely above average.
And it's another Russian body.
Yeah, old style body. Another one with a vent in the back, so I'm assuming they went for that radiator in the back spec. At least in theory. I don't think automation actually places radiators, but I mean, eventually they'll do that, hopefully.
Eventually, perhaps.
It'd be an interesting detail. I don't
I
think
will
they,
say
sorry.
there is an interesting. It seems to be aerodynamically sound. Well, say aerodynamically sound. You had trouble braking there. So, would you say that the brakes are very small, perhaps lacking?
This one is weird in the sense that it's like an instant lockup type brakes. Like, it doesn't seem to matter how little you hit them, they do lock up. So they might be too big, actually. The discs themselves might be too big. I've had that
So it's
issue in the past.
they're locking up, so it doesn't have ABS.
Probably not. Most definitely not. But it is a quick car. This one definitely glides through some of the corners, but unfortunately the brakes are. Oh, jeez. Okay, that's a bent wheel there. But the brakes seem to be just a little bit too big potentially, which is a weird thing to say because I'm always asking for more brakes. But yeah, no, I just crashed it as well. Um, Locked up the brakes and slid into a fence. Yeah, I think you'll see that soon.
I'm just seeing. I'm sorry. I'm just seeing the load of memes that are showing up in the Discord
Oh no, memes about your.
about my mannerisms.
Oh no.
No, I don't mind. I really don't.
Okay, that's good. As long as you don't mind.
I can take it on the nose.
Yeah, I mean it's just a joke, right?
Oh, of course, and I will take it as such.
Okay, that's good. When you go on public public stream like
Yeah,
this,
you gotta expect something like
oh
this.
yeah, there's got to be something. There always
But
is.
in any, how quick do you think this is going to be? It seems to be getting up there in relatively good pace.
I mean, I just finished the lap. It's a 234, so
That,
it's
yeah,
not that
that is not
fast.
bad.
It's as the average slowly gets lower and lower.
It seems to be moving towards 234. I see a lot of cars with 234.
Yeah, there's a lot of 234 going on. So this is a 1965. It's called 1965 Squid. Oh, okay.
Zenro.
Seems like typing in that doesn't actually work. So we'll just type in Squid. There we
So
go.
this is by Zachary J. As we said before, it is the 1965 Squid Zenro. It is a Boxer 6, 2.3 turbocharged liters. Although it's interesting to say that it has 260 and a half horsepower. So perhaps this is more for the very, very quick speeds. Very, very little turbo lag is what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Somebody just pointed something out in the chat a while ago that I missed, but I have 236 mods going right now on Beam.
That would
So
probably be...
that might be why there is an issue. So what I'm gonna have to
perhaps.
do is I'll have to spend some time yesterday, or not yesterday. I'm going back in time. No, tomorrow to delete all the cars we've done so far, so that it kind of lowers the mod count and hopefully lowers the percentage chance that there'll be issues.
I will say that this is also visually stunning. It looks great.
Oh, it drifts pretty well. I like the back end of this one quite a bit. It's got a lot
So
of
it's
detail.
it's fairly tail happy.
Yeah, it is. I think that was partially, well, not partially, it was significant driver error. This one has some interesting quirks in the sense that it bobs up and down, like some of the cars have been doing in the past, but...
So it's the suspension must be ooh, I see the drift now. So the suspension is probably pretty soft.
I think so. Oh,
So
wow.
in some cases that will help.
Yeah,
Uh,
soft suspension is not a bad thing on a rally car, but
exactly.
for this pavement section, it's a little bit disconcerting. Okay.
Yes. So I forgot to say the weight for this is 1,259 kilograms, giving it a power to weight of 20.69.
Oh boy. Okay. You really have to finesse this one, I think, but it will drive well. You just have to
So the wheels
really play
seem to
with
be
it.
of a decent size.
Yeah, they seem to be very average. They're not particularly small. I just
They're not
lost. Oh,
particularly big as well.
goodness. I just lost every front piece of it, but we're gonna keep going anyways. This one's not gonna smash any records, but I think it'll be a decent time as we get closer to the top here.
So again, this car, I have to admit, is visually stunning.
It's quite a nice one. I think all of these cars are currently still up in the Discord, so if anybody wants to go and check them out for yourself, you'll just have to search it up on the Discord and you should be able to find it in the subscribers showcase section. Yeah. I know that other people have been trying other people's cars, but if one of these is interesting to you, you can definitely do that.
Scooby-Doo has a very interesting name. It looks like a BMW M1. It does.
It does. I think this body is supposed to be a Lamborghini, but I'm not 100% on
Countach,
that.
then. It's supposed to be a Countach.
I think it's Lamborghini Panthera.
Oh, perhaps.
Might be one to look up. I don't remember what it looks like.
So we have a time of 237.759.
Yes.
That's respectable, I'd say. And up next we have Turbo Crash's car.
Yes, this is Turbo Crash. He did make it in despite some minor issues. Wait, where is it though?
It's called the Turbo Crash 93 Arfo Lomé.
Well, the bonus of doing multiple streams is that if I miss one like this one, I can find it and then put it back. So apparently it's not in here. So,
oh, jeez.
Not Lamborghini? Oh, Pantera is their
Thomas.
own car. Oh, rip. Okay, I was way off in the chat, being corrected. Okay, hold on. Yeah, so I think we might have to skip that one, unless I have somehow missed it.
Oh, well, forgive us,
We'll,
Turbo
come
Crash.
back.
I know he was the one to show up in one of the lone subscriber showcases.
The very first subscriber showcase
Yes,
was actually with
yes.
him.
Yes.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, basically any car that gets missed is, oh jeez, I thought it was gonna crash again. Any car that gets missed, I'll just find it and then make sure it's in, and then we'll do it in the next stream, so yeah, don't worry. Okay, let's go ahead and do this next one. This is the 30B RA85 by Camsta Lee.
Yep, by Camsta Lee. This is a 3-liter Boxer 6. It has 404.1 horsepower, and it has a weight of 960.9 kilograms, giving it a power to weight of 42.05. Yeah, I remember reviewing this one. It's very interesting to say the least, and I say interesting as in it's quite good.
So this one has an interesting quirk in the sense that we had to develop a new rule because of this car about the 100% brokenness, like in automation. It had a 100% chance of failure, I believe.
Yes, we did. We did have to revise the rules in such a way.
So it was interesting in the sense that it actually still ran despite having a 100% chance of failure. I tried it and it still worked, and so we had to develop a new rule that you're not allowed to have 100%, which is an interesting thing just because I thought that it would work well, like Beam would actually have that translated into it somehow, but apparently not, at least not for some cars.
Scooby-Doo, I can definitely say that there are quite a few Quattros.
Oh yeah, lots of Quattros, lots of cars with the name Quattro. We still have to get to those.
And a lot of Quattro lookalikes.
No, definitely. That Audi body is very common, and also people mimicking its styling too.
That was an interesting flick that I just witnessed.
A bit of an odd maneuver. I'm inventing new driving techniques. Whether they're
Uh,
good, not really.
that's actually the Scandinavian flick, I do believe. It's exaggerated, but it's a Scandinavian flick.
So these tiny cars, especially ones like this one with a giant table again on the back, that's a fail race term that I'm stealing there, by the way.
It is.
Yeah, it's quick. It's really quick. These tiny cars are just good. They're
Also, big
definitely hard to
wheels.
beat.
Very
Oh
big
yeah,
rear wheels.
big wheels, hatchback, coupe. Okay, it can't be a coupe and hatchback at the same time. It's just a two-door. But that is a fast car. That's a 226.
That is definitely respect. That's up there.
Oh, and there are fireworks outside.
Californian flick by Silenced Potato. Goofy, there is plenty of 86 model year car. Oh, do you mean A86? There's probably quite a few.
Yeah, I would think so. Oh goodness! So if you can hear fireworks in the back, that's because Canada Day is tomorrow, and people
Well,
generally shoot off fireworks all weekend.
I
So
personally don't hear that
okay,
currently,
that's
but
good.
be that as it may.
Yeah, I mean, people like to shoot them off in the street, and that's like next to my window, so
So
you
up
may hear
next,
it eventually.
we have resting. I believe that's resting roaster, 968 Rally Edition. It is
Yes.
an inline 5, 2.1 liter turbocharged, respectable horsepower of 432.6, and it weighs 1,128 kilograms, giving it a power to weight of 38.35.
So this one's a Datsun body, from the looks of things.
I
Oh,
do like the Datsun
jeez.
bodies.
Interesting color. It's I think that this one had different rims, but I didn't have the mod for it, so they are the default rims. But it's an interesting
Nevertheless,
looking car.
yeah,
It's got some
nevertheless,
weird.
I think it personally it looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, the fuel tank on the back is an interesting touch, seeing as it's right next to the exhaust.
That is an odd place to put it,
I
to say the least.
don't know how safe that is. Might not pass any rally official testing, but hey, for our simulation, it works. Right, this one is quick too. No issues on speed. The wheels are nicely sized. Oh,
Yeah, those are. I'd like to point out that the rims are very small. For those are very thick tires.
oh yeah, it's got some small rims. Having bigger tires, I think, adds weight in comparison to bigger rims. Not 100% on that, but ooh, it seems like a worthy exchange for this car. Um,
Perhaps.
it seems like it's benefiting from that. It's got pretty good grip. One of the brighter colors around here as well. Not a bad thing though.
I'm personally very partial to the color blue, but I will admit that is a very bright blue.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh,
nevertheless,
rocks. Sorry.
well, you say that, and I was just about to say that it seems to be getting along rather decently along this track.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a slide towards the end. Oh, goodness. But we're almost across the line. A little bit of lag. Oh, jeez. Okay. 228.9.
Definitely one of the faster ones out there.
All right.
Ford Pinto, but even more fire hazardous.
Basically.
I agree. So I believe up next, if I can see the full name, Earth Representative? Am I?
Yeah,
Is that the full?
that is the full thing. You should be able to click it
Okay.
and see. Hold on a second. So Jacob says, so you mentioned you were talking or thinking about a wheel. I've had a horrible experience with my wheel and automation cars. The force feedback is terrible. Not sure of any fixes.
Well, I personally don't have any experience
No, neither do
with
I.
that sort of thing.
Uh, yeah,
So
that would be something to maybe check out the automation forums to see what that does,
perhaps,
and also the
perhaps
Beam forums as well. Like BeamNG has quite a few settings for force feedback, but I don't know if it can even apply to automation cars.
it does. It does indeed. So, Earth Representative, it is the Alfredo Sport Box. That's a wonderful name. And it is a V8, 2.35 liters, turbocharged. It has 516.9 horsepower, and it has a rather hefty weight of 1,324 kilograms. However, that still gives it a power to weight ratio of 39.
So that's not
And
bad in terms of like overall power to weight ratios that we've seen.
but I will also say it seems the body is very simplistic.
Oh yes, so not many fixtures on this one. I think that's partially because I'm missing a few, but honestly, like I have a lot of mods.
Yeah,
I
he's
shouldn't be.
in chat. It's the fixtures didn't load.
Yeah, so I didn't get the fixtures on this one, unfortunately. I did get the hitch. I mean, that's really all that matters, and the exhaust. So we can pull a trailer, but we've got no rear lights. So don't take this one on the street.
Eh, that's unfortunate.
Okay, when it comes to driving, oh goodness, don't speak too soon. Yeah, no, this one's actually good. I like this one quite a bit, actually. As plain as it is in looks, due to our, well, missing modifications, it drives well. Its brakes are good, acceleration's good, it's just well balanced.
It seems a little bit oversteery, if you don't mind me saying so.
I think it is, but it's controllable. It's not too unpredictable. Some of the cars are just like, you turn around a corner, you're not sure what it's gonna do, but this one, at least you kind of know.
Right.
And for the first time ever, we have... Yikes. We just did a sick grind on some of the concrete, but I'm gonna have to restart.
Uh-oh. Well, I can't wait to see this one.
I didn't know that we
Oh,
switched
yeah, I
to
see.
Tony Hawk's Underground there for a second.
Yeah, that's a rather nasty.
Oh, jeez.
Santiago Mancebo, I don't believe your car has gone around yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Haven't been keeping track. Considering we've gone through, what is this? Almost 40 cars? I mean, I think we're 5 away from 40.
We've gone through quite a few.
Yeah, so it's worth just clicking the link in the description, checking out the current leaderboards to see where you're at and if you've gone yet. And if your car isn't there, like if it's not on the list, then you probably didn't make it, which is unfortunate.
Indeed.
But I've tried to be like very thorough in finding everybody. There were some people that messaged me saying I didn't get them, and yeah, I added those people, so we should be... Oh goodness. Okay, it's a good thing those signs don't have collision. That's what I'll say about that. You'll see that in a second. Yeah, I think it is geared well, this car. It's geared for some decent acceleration and good top speed, so it's just like perfectly balanced as all things should be, to quote Thanos. But wheel spin is minor. It's a slight issue. I think I've pretty much drifted this entire course on this lap attempt.
So, I see some people are asking about it. We couldn't find Turbo Crash's car, so we will definitely get to that next stream.
Yeah, I'll make sure to add him in, and then we'll do him first next time. That'll be tomorrow at approximately 5. Uh, like I wanted to get through about 40-ish cars today, so I don't even. It's almost 10. We'll keep going until we get to 40 cars, and then we'll have to call it for the night. But then we can come back and try and do most of them tomorrow. Probably almost 100 tomorrow, which is gonna be crazy. But yeah, that might be a really long stream. As long as we don't have any issues, though, we should do a little bit better. So that's a 240.438.
That seems to be quite a bit slower than the average, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
you do say that it felt okay?
It did feel good, that one. I guess considering all of my drifting, it probably wasn't optimally quick. But, oh wait, I think I skipped a car. Well, we're going to skip a car, and then we're going to go back to the one before it. So this one is the...
Oh, I see. Yeah, this is Burning Crisis. I've talked to him on multiple occasions within the Discord. This is the Amalgam Spectre Turbo. It is an inline four, 2.1 liters, respectable horsepower of 470.9, and it has a weight of 960.2, giving it a power to weight of 49. So it's probably going to be very, very powerful. I don't know, fast, but it's going to be very powerful.
Yeah, it's going to be a powerful car, no doubt about that. Driving it so far, it feels like you feel that power. Interestingly, I don't think I got the fender flares. Sometimes I find when I...
Oh no, that's purposeful, I think.
Oh, is it? They stick out?
I believe so. Yeah.
Interesting. I've had some cars in the past where I just didn't get the fender like pulled out, but I still got the wheels. So that's an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, I believe it's with the specifically the Mad Max mod. There is an option to put certain fenders on there where it can just totally disappear.
Oh, so like see-through fenders, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. So you can have really wide wheels without having the fender cover it.
Yeah, to jet out.
No, okay, that's cool. Oh boy. This one is quick. This lap is a little sloppy though, but that's okay.
Could it perhaps be small brakes?
I don't know. This one, it feels decent. I think it's got slightly like very significant front brake bias. Either that or just much larger fronts. Because when you hit those brakes, it really like piles the nose down.
Forward. So, that's... Ooh. Yeah, just looking at it, it seems that the brakes are... They seem... Either there's ABS or they seem to be small.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It could very well... It might be ABS.
Yeah,
thinking about it.
Not 100% sure on that. I know that people were saying that ABS has done weird things, and it does weird things when transferred from automation to beam. Personally, I don't think I've experienced that, but I mean, with the amount of cars that we're doing, we're likely to at least have one issue.
Well, the thing is with ABS, I mean, it's supposed to prevent the brakes and the wheels from locking up. Mm-hmm. So if you have a longer braking distance, that's why. So it's not acting weirdly in that case. It's just doing its job.
I guess so.
However, that is still a relatively quick time.
Yeah, 2:28. So... Oh,
you did put it in the wrong spot.
I absolutely did. I will cut that and put it here. So yeah, next one is going to be the Alpina, and I also typed in Apollo. Kinda dying. Wait. ALP. There we go. So we've got this one right here. Very odd looking car. Might be a Porsche body style, but it also kind of has a sort of a racing...
Well, that's That's the Apollo. I expect the Alpina to look the part.
Well, this is the Alpina here.
Ooh. Ooh, that's. I hate to say it, it doesn't look like an Alpina.
No, I don't think it's supposed to be one. Um, yeah, this one is interesting.
It looks interesting.
I like the window mesh attempt.
Uh, I'd say that's actually a very good attempt at
I've
the
uh,
window mesh.
I've never seen that before from anybody. It's weird that it's on both sides. I guess,
It looks more like a Porsche, I'll be honest.
yeah, it's got that Porsche style going. Um,
But in any case, the stats. This is by Tom Coat 23. It is a Boxer 4, 7 point, excuse me, sorry, not 7 point, 2.78 liters, 283.6 horsepower with a little bit of a hefty weight of 1,009 kilograms, giving it a power to weight of 28.1.
28.1. Well, I don't know. It
It's
doesn't
somewhat
feel.
average.
Yeah, it doesn't feel slower than average in terms of power to weight. This one does have off-road tires, and it has very, very small front wheels.
It seems like there's a lot of suspension travel as well.
Yeah, it definitely is been set up more for the off-road, um, which again, I guess mixed course can mean a lot of things. So
Yeah,
they,
well, we have talked about this before in the
mhm.
server. The conclusion we came to is for a mixed track, you will want medium or hard long life. If you
Yeah,
have one of the extremes, it's definitely going to be a hindrance on one or the other.
yeah, definitely. I think this person kind of assumed that the track would be majority. Oh wow, we just lost the front lip. Would be majority off-road rather than majority on-road. Um, I like that the way that this course is set up, where it's off-road, then on-road, then off-road again. I specifically picked that just because of its like variety in that sense, but it is still predominantly asphalt course.
So, just to answer Sung Woo Yoon's question, it is $40,000. That or in-game currency. That was the budget.
Hmm. Which I think was pretty generous, actually.
I would say so. Uh, we're not trying to copy Fail Race's style, but I think his had a budget of 10,000,
10,000, yikes.
or not. I think it was sorry, 15,000.
That's pretty cheap. Like the cars
That's
here would not be able to get anywhere near that. You have to lower the quality sliders quite significantly.
so. I believe we have a time. Uh, 2:32. That's about average, I'd say.
Yep,
That's about an average time.
not a bad one. All right.
So we have Pro Space Dog, the Apollo S-25 Blue Sky. That's actually a good name. I like it. Um, we have an inline six. It is 2.5 liters turbocharged, and we have 344.5 horsepower. With a weight of 1,134 kilograms, giving it a extremely average power to weight of 30.379.
So that's interesting. I think that this car, oh boy, more interesting is incoming here. But I think this car looks interesting as well. I actually like the over the top styling of this one. More big
I,
wings and more trunk and back vents, but still, it's kind of cool.
I like it as well. Again, I'm partial to the blue color. I think this is a good choice of
Hmm.
color.
Oh goodness. I mean, other than Liam's car, I think so far this is one of the better looking ones, at least in my opinion. Um, yeah, I think it's very aesthetically pleasing, especially for this sort of style that we're going for. Now, everybody sort of chooses their own style, but generally speaking, it's mostly 80s rally style. I think this one does it well.
I agree. Actually, well, the name was Blue Sky, and it definitely looks like a blue sky. I
Living up
just
to your
realized
name
that.
there, Blue Sky.
Indeed.
So the author of this one is Pro Space Dog. I haven't
Yes, it
seen them in the
was.
chat or anything, but
I don't either.
yeah, that's unfortunate. It'd be cool to get some more insight on this one, see what the inspiration was.
Well,
One thing, sorry, just a sec. One thing that's really cool about it that I like is the rear windows. Uh, you can see
I've
they have
seen
quite a bit of detail.
Yeah, I've seen that sort of style of rear window before. I've seen it plenty of times, especially on the Quattro replicas. So perhaps this is a bit of a
It is
Quattro-esque
kind of.
design. Although it does have pop-ups.
It
The
does.
Quattro didn't.
No, it's a unique design. It seems. Oh boy, pretty fast
It's
car.
it does seem so.
Not too many issues with it so far, which is good.
Here's Space Dog. It's based off the Mazda RX-7 FB.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, I'd say. Well, let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, I definitely see that more in the front of it. You can kind of see through the. Oh, okay, never mind. You can't really see anymore. But yeah, that's an interesting one. So that is a 224.
Yeah, I could see the resemblance. Yeah, per Space Dog, I think you did a pretty good job with that one. Oh, that is a quick time as well. I think that puts it in second place.
Not really. 224. So
I'd
we've got
say
a
that's
couple 218s, right?
yes, forgive me.
Yeah.
So that would
And
be
then the
third.
222 as well. So that one. Oh, is that
Uh,
third? Interesting.
where where is the 222? Where is it?
Yeah, there was a
Um,
222.
yes,
Oh
there it
boy.
is. The Shivas. Excuse me, the Shivashia. That was
Yeah,
the 222.
the hard to pronounce name.
So
Um,
for Space Dog, your car is in fourth.
nice. So what we'll end up doing, like at the end of it, I'll pick out the actual fastest times, and we'll make a separate graph for that, or a separate chart for it, just so it's easier to see. And yeah, because Google doesn't like the Google Sheets doesn't do tables in the same way as Excel does, so it's a little more interesting with pivot tables and such. But I'll try and organize it.
So I believe up next we have Chris L's Atlas Esprit. It is, well, I'll say one thing. That is an interesting window arrangement, rear window arrangement. I'll
It
say.
is a very odd rear light as well. It comes
I
on when
I
the brakes
agree.
do, but it's also white. So, very interesting.
So a lot of flames as well.
Yeah, no, a lot of flames. What are
Oh
the
yeah,
stats on this
for
one?
yes. Atlas Esprit is an inline six, 3.5 liters turbocharged. It has, well, I'd say that's not a lot of horsepower for that displacement. It's 422.8. It has a weight of 1,313 kilograms, giving it a 32.2 power to weight.
So, judging by the cars we've done so far, the two fastest cars right now, what are the power to weights for them?
Let me take a look real quick.
Yeah,
The
they're
power
just a
to
little bit
weights.
up the list.
Well, you say that, but for the Krolman, which is the current leader, it was 38.7,
Okay.
and the one in forget no, the Krolman was 27.5,
Oh wow, that's low actually.
and the second place, the Cougar 2, was the 38.7.
Hmm. So it seems like it's not so much determined by power to weight ratio on what cars are
It's
actually
it's
quicker.
it's more utilizing what you have.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to get that power on the ground. Oh wow, this
Yeah.
car suffers from that same lag issue. Uh,
So it must be the light.
yeah, I think it's this light. It's this fixture. It's the same fixture.
Uh, for those who have just joined, my name is Overlord. I am a moderator within the Discord, and I suggested the idea of this Group B rally showcase, and I also oversaw the adjudication of whether cars in the Discord server were viable for the contest.
So that car has a 225.
So it's still a very, very quick time, nevertheless.
Yeah.
And these will be uploaded to your channel later on.
Yeah, actually, I'm planning on just leaving the VODs. Uh, they'll just go up as soon as the stream is over. So
Ah,
you
all
should be able
right.
to see it as soon as it's done. It might not be fully processed, so you'll only probably be able to watch the last 2 hours. It'll be probably by morning when it'll actually be done. But yeah, just because we're streaming 3 days in a row, I just figured like the VODs can come out the same day.
Yeah, Argonbite, yeah, it is about that mid-range power. This is an interesting looking one, and this is Andreas's Atmos Aero Aero. It is using all of the displacement that it can. It is a 5-liter V6
Oh yeah.
with 582.4 horsepower with a hefty weight of 1,406 kilograms, giving it, nevertheless, a power to weight of 41.42.
So this car is heavy. Um, and okay, it went for a bit of an off-roading adventure there. But this one is quick as well, like especially on the pavement. It
Those tires are very thick.
oh
The
yeah,
rims are somewhat small.
the rims are very small and the wheels themselves are massive.
Yes.
Oh boy, they're really wide and just very tall as well. This thing has some good ground clearance. I like the body on this one. I
I
also
do as
like
well.
the louvers look. I think it's a good looking car.
I agree.
Okay, so we shouldn't have any trouble with the curb, considering how giant the wheels are. Yeah, no problems at all.
I wouldn't assume so either.
This one has such a flat wing on the back. It's very odd.
Will Steph, I don't think we will ever have 1,000 cars per showcase. If we do, that will be an absolute nightmare.
That would be like a solid week of just streaming. Like
Yeah.
full-time job type streaming, which I do not have time for, unfortunately.
Yeah. So we'll just have to put up enough wild regulations or have a hard cap at some
Pretty
point.
much. For the next showcase, I'm still trying to decide how we can figure that out, because like as the community grows, more and more people will want to submit. So we'll probably end up doing like challenges more similar to how the forums do it, like the automation forums.
Right.
We'll probably end up making it so that we won't even review the cars, and if your car does not meet the requirements, then it just doesn't get in once you submit it.
Which will be unfortunate, but it's probably going to be for the better.
Yeah, it's harsh and it kind of sucks, but it was also a lot of effort to review them all. I know that you did
Yeah.
most of it, but for our sake, we'll probably have to implement a rule such as that, something harsh, so that the showcase doesn't spiral too far out of control.
Yeah. So another very similar time, 225.8.
Yes, very close to the last one, 0.7 seconds off. So this is a part of the. Okay, this car is literally just called the Audi Quattro.
Yes, it is. I was actually rather looking forward to this one. This is Joyo's entry. It is an inline 5, 2.1 liters with a turbocharger, and it has a very, very large output of 511.8 horsepower with 1,013 kilograms,
So we're gonna
giving
take.
it
Sorry.
giving it the power to weight ratio of 50.5.
We're just gonna take a second to look at this one, just because there's a lot of detail in this body.
I especially like the ring. They did the Audi rings as well.
Yeah,
They
so
did that almost perfectly.
it's this one is very nicely detailed. It looks like a Quattro. Let's see if it
It's
drives
very.
like one.
I keep saying this, but it's very well designed.
Oh yeah, 511 horsepower. That's quite a bit.
Yeah, even Canadian Steel agrees. That's even Canadian Steel. It's pretty accurate. It's
Yeah, that's good. Unfortunately, okay, there's a bit of lag with this one. I'm not sure what's going on. we're gonna have to be a little bit more cautious. Just because I don't want to lag into a wall or something. It's just a frame rate dip, but definitely caused by having way too many mods.
So I will say, if Joya wants to keep this as accurate to true life as it is, this should be a very, very fast time.
Yeah, let's hope so. I'm trying. I mean, I'm trying with every car, but oh no. Okay, it's going off into the bushes. It's going back to the dirt, where it truly is home. That's actually the most violent crash we've had so far, but I'm gonna try
I
again.
can't wait to see this one.
I'm gonna give that one another chance.
Oh, yeah, that seems violent. That is a proper crash.
Oh yeah, no, that one is that's a race
Wow.
ender right there, but unfortunately,
It is.
well, fortunately we can try again. Oh jeez, I might have to turn off reflections for the next stream. Yikes, the graphics settings are just getting lower and lower.
So, I I know this is about automation, but I do want to give a slight history lesson on this because I personally enjoy history in all facets. If that doesn't trouble you.
No, that's good. Let's see if I can finish this well while you're doing that.
So the Audi Quattro was the first all-wheel drive car to go into this sort of rallying. When Group B was, I don't know what the right word is, but when it was generated, the Audi representatives, when they went to the officiators, they said, "Oh," and I got this from the Grand Tour. Anybody who watches that, I got this from the Grand Tour. The Audi officials at the very end of the meeting said, "There's this one rule about no four-wheel drive. What if we just chalk that off?" And they said, "Yeah, it's fine." So they did, and this became an absolute domination on the tarmac and on the dirt. It was for a while unrivaled, and there was an arms race for all-wheel drive cars in Group B rallying. So there's my history lesson.
Yeah, that's cool to know. This car is more significant than it seems these days, but its history is not forgotten.
No, it's historically a very good car, and
Yeah,
I
that's cool.
it certainly seems that it's living up to that history.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is just a replica, but it's very well done.
Abs- I agree. So, do we have? Are we just about finished?
Uh, wait,
Very
finished for
close.
today?
This
Oh,
car.
I finished with the car. So it's a 2:27. That's the time I got.
That's still very respectable.
Yeah, it's not a lightning quick vehicle, but it is still a fast one.
No, well, I will say that with more people comes more creativity. So there was bound to be faster times.
Definitely. If something's made to be more realistic as well, it's not going to be as fast as some of the crazier stuff.
Right. Exactly. So, should we? This next car, should we call it after this one?
I think let's go up to line 50 and then we'll call it. Is that okay?
Let's see, line 50. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, I just
So,
want to get a few more done to ease off tomorrow a little bit.
right.
And then,
So up next we have. Sorry. Up next we have not a lesbian. Very interesting name. The Super Drop Kidamu.
yeah,
Jeez.
this one's actually in the thumbnail because I think it's hilarious. Um, it's sort of like that Roadkill car when they put, I don't know if you watch Roadkill, but they put the four wheels up on the top of the lowrider. It's pretty much that. I don't know. I like it. Let's give it a go.
I'm gonna give it another stab at pronouncing that name. Kadamyumu? I cannot say that faster.
It appears to be Japanese
So
style. I don't know if it's an actual word or not, but
So, what we have here is a V6, 2.8 liters. It has 241.2 horsepower with a very, very hefty weight of 1,427 kilograms, giving it a power to weight of 16.9. So
So,
it'll be interesting to
yikes.
see how this goes.
That is definitely one of the heavier vehicles, but it also has, oh goodness, one, two, three, four, five, six spoilers. It has louvers, it has wheels, it has antennas. This car is truly unique, and I appreciate it. I also like how that
Uh,
spoiler is moving on the back too. That's a little detail.
so I will say, I'll say it again. This is a well-designed car. There's just a lot of well-placed fixtures. It it looks odd, but I guess that's the purpose of it. So you've succeeded in my mind.
I think so. The gold and green is also very, very odd, but
I it's somewhat appealing though.
I think so. It's a good combo. If you don't actually like, I would never have this on my actual car, but it's cool in game.
It's I don't know. I don't mean to insult the creator, not a lesbian, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to look at.
I think that's the idea. This car's a bit of a meme car. Oh, jeez.
It's it just gives you a smile whenever you look at it, which it's definitely not a bad thing. I'd say it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so. There's a reason it's in the thumbnail. I like this
Yes,
one a lot.
indeed.
Uh, I didn't even notice the six wings on the back when I was taking that photo. But yeah, goodness.
So, but with all of that said, what would you say is there a prevailing issue with this?
It weighs a lot, and it doesn't really have the power to get its weight moving as fast as some of the other cars.
Especially up the hill, I imagine.
Oh yeah, it's real slow up the hill. It's also really long, and that gives it some issues around some of the tighter corners. It's no speed demon, but it is an interesting car. That's a 237.
So, a little bit slower than the average, but definitely memorable, I'll say.
Yeah,
Definitely
definitely.
memorable.
I'm planning on using the same thumbnail for all of the videos, so it's going to be remembered through all of them.
So not a lesbian. Your car's going to show up quite often.
Oh yeah. Next, we're moving on to another Datsun.
This is the Snipes, the Group B Fairlady RS30Z, which the Fairlady was a Datsun to start off with.
Mm-hmm. This one is loud.
Thumbnail.
i6 3.3 turbo. Oh boy. Okay, here we go.
Yes, giving it 572.7 horsepower. That's quite a bit. Also, the weight.
Yikes, this thing has some monster rims on it. Goodness, it's got huge wheels as well. I'm a little bit concerned with the way that it's driving, but generally speaking, it's quite quick.
Those are very big wheels, I will say.
Whoa. Okay, we've taken a hit from a rock, but yikes, that acceleration is a little intense.
I am seeing quite a bit of suspension travel as well.
Yeah, this one likes to move around a lot. It's very quick though.
Exios? Let's see. Where is yours on the list? Just want to see. Where is yours on the list? Exios, yours is actually pretty far down. So yours may be in the third stream. Well, actually, saying that, unfortunately, we're not gonna move it up. However, this will be available the day after, so you'll be able to see it.
Pretty much. commenting on this run, this car is pretty much a disaster, so I'm trying again.
You've rolled over quite a few times.
Yeah, I have done a few flips and a couple spins, so I figured, you know what, let's just give it another chance. This one is hard to control. It's a little bit dangerous. Oh, it likes to spin. It likes to run off the track, but it seems to keep going regardless, so I guess that's something.
So I will say the tail lights are a very good choice. It's definitely JDM. Definitely gives me that vibe.
Yeah, it definitely looks the part of what it's trying to... It's kind of a knockoff Fair Lady. I mean, it's even called the Fair Lady. Oh boy. Okay, that corner was real tight there.
So...
Yikes.
It seems like, I don't know, I'm just assuming this, but it seems like you're having quite a few issues with this one.
I am having a few issues with this one. So much so that I'm going to, well, I kind of failed actually at going around the curb, just so we don't bend any wheels.
So what would you say is the most prevailing issue with this?
It's really fast, but it doesn't handle as well as you would want considering how fast it is.
I would say the probable cause of that will be the lack of gription.
It seems so. The brakes also lock up instantly.
Wow.
So it lurches forward and then it likes to spin out. But we're almost done with it. We're actually farther than we were last time, which is good progress. Come on, let's get this thing up this cliff and then out of this.
One thing I do notice is the lack of downforce, unless
True.
that is a wing on the back.
It
Maybe
appears
a
to be a spoiler.
Okay, so yeah, it seemed perhaps more downforce would have helped in this case.
I think so. A little bit more downforce. Actually, probably a huge wing would have been good for this car.
Well, to the Snipes, the creator, what I would recommend to keep the aesthetic for this car, I would say very subtle wings, because in my experience, spoilers and wings provide the most downforce, even over lips. So perhaps for the future, that's the note I would give it.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, that is still a relatively quick time.
2:31. So next one is the Pike. Oh boy. This one it's got some radical styling. But after this, we have two more left, and then we'll be calling it for today.
So this is the Pike 925 rally. I saw this before. This is one of the ones I'm excited for. Not only does it look fantastic, in my opinion, it looks fantastic, but it also has a very small engine, which is deeply interesting to me. It is an inline 3. It is 925 cc's, hence the name, which gives it 241.1 horsepower and a very light weight of 726.1 kilograms, giving it a respectable power to weight of 33.2.
So this is the only car to have fallen off of the cliff so far at the beginning. Yikes, it is a little wide.
Yes, it seems so.
Just the wing, I mean.
Wow. It is visually stunning.
Visually busy, but it's an interesting use of different like in-game pieces to make something that is yeah, very unique. Like you can see the top is roof racks.
Yes. But
a lot of them.
And, that's a very interesting placement of the exhaust, the 3 on the rear.
Yeah, that is very odd. And also the wings are actually, or sorry, the wing, it's actually 2 wings next to each other.
Yeah, it does. It looks like it. It gives it. It definitely maintains the aesthetic. Yes, it is a VW Beetle on steroids.
Oh yeah, no, this one is on some serious steroids.
Car is morally challenging.
I have
uh, I have to agree. There are things that really confuse you, but for some reason I like it.
I don't understand. Like, I've never thought of doing two wings next to each other like that. Like, that's mirrored wings. We should definitely try that sometime.
Perhaps, but it's it's just visually. I'm currently at a lack of words for how it looks.
I think there's just a lot going on with this one. Um,
Yeah,
there's a lot to talk about, and then there's so much to talk about. You're like, where do I start?
yeah, exactly. Where do I start with this? Although we've touched on mostly everything. But how does it drive?
It's interesting.
It drives.
It's not particularly fast. It is
So it
small,
drives.
but it's well planted, I'll say, and its suspension is pretty stiff, which is good. It's not like wobbling all over the place. It looks like a meme car, but it is not in terms of driving capability. It's pretty fair.
Uh,
Yikes! I really stopped down that corner there. I did not need to do that. But still, that is under 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's a 228.3. Okay. Up next is the BMW King. Okay, this one maybe a little bit more simplistic in looks. Let me see. Yeah, definitely more simplistic in looks. It's got a weird texture to it. I think the entire car is carbon fiber, which is a little odd, but let's see what it drives like. Okay, hold on a minute. Gotta be careful with this one. It tends
it's
to
rather
really... Hmm? I think you're cutting out, Overlord. Can't really hear the things that you're saying. Yeah, so what I was saying before is this car kind of... oh boy, it likes to jump around that corner and definitely likes to drift as well. This one seems to have some serious power. Kind of a dangerous one.
This is called the BMW King. Personally, I don't see any resemblance to the BMWs, but it is a V8, about 5 liters. It has 510 horsepower with a weight of 1,351 kilograms, giving it a power to weight of 37.75.
37, that's pretty high. Off-road tires on this one, causing some grip issues.
Giving lack of gription.
Lack of grip once again. It loves to drift. It has a hitch. Why are people putting hitches on there? I have no idea.
I do not know either.
Kind of odd, but I'll take it. I mean, I like to put hitches on things too, but this showcase was not a towing showcase. At least not yet. Oh, goodness.
So
I was thinking... Oh, sorry?
There's been a lot of interesting choices in the design of this car.
Yeah, the carbon fiber paint is unique. Haven't seen that yet.
But you said off-road tires, which is definitely a hindrance on the tarmac.
Yes, it definitely
and
is.
Saber just pointed out that it looks like it has ABS.
It might.
So, anything else that you think can be improved?
This one? Oh, don't go off the cliff. No. Oh, okay, wow. It can pull itself up off of a potential cliff fall, which is a bonus. But that's a
I suppose
227,
that is.
so
Ooh, that's an
not
interesting
not a
time.
slow car. 0.264. Oh,
Hmm.
thank you for the donation again, Jacob. If they put a hitch, you should do the run towing. I thought about that when I mentioned it, but unfortunately, it would be kind of hard to set it up.
So up next we have. I'm not even going to attempt to say that name. It's just a collection of numbers and symbols. But in any case, it's called the TriStar Hachiroku.
Mm-hmm.
It is a V6. It is 2.5 liters, uh, giving 288.4 horsepower with a weight of 979.6 kilograms, giving it just about an average power to weight of 29.44.
So this car is going to be the last one we do today, but we will continue again tomorrow. We should be coming online about 5 o'clock, maybe same Eastern Standard Time. We'll
I'm
see how it
definitely
goes.
I'm definitely getting a AE86 Quattro vibes from this.
Oh yeah, no, it's that same body all over again. Um,
Yeah,
it
but
is.
also with the fixtures as well, just interesting choices.
This one doesn't have too many fixtures on it. Once again, I don't know if that's a
No,
mods issue, but I think they're placed well.
that sometimes simplicity is key.
Yeah, I mean, we go from stuff like that Beetle, where it has more fixtures than anything else, and then this was
Yes.
a little bit more simple. It's kind of a refreshing piece, and that was a real significant drift. Oh, it actually recovered. Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
I noticed that the wheels are somewhat small.
They are quite small, and they're off-road tires, so grip
Ooh,
is limited. It is a
on the
drift
tarmac.
machine.
Ooh, well, saw you go into the rocks.
Yeah, we've recovered, but we have a significant dent. That's about it, though. It seems to be driving pretty straight. No real issues.
Hmm. It's also riding relatively high.
This one does ride quite high, and it has some. The grip is definitely. I'm definitely struggling with that. It pulls hard to the left now, but when you want to get moving, this car will move. It's just. You gotta be cautious when doing so just because of the grip.
This is definitely a suitable drift machine,
I
to
think
say the
so.
least. Yes, Jacob
Oh.
Green, old pizza discs.
So I guess next time we'll probably start with Turbo Crash's car if I manage to find it, and after that we might jump into doing all of the front-wheel drive slash four-wheel drive cars, which will be
Hmm.
interesting to change it up a little bit.
Simmer Simmer pointed out something. I think I have seen this before. The max width of the tires you can get is about 225 millimeters on this particular body.
Oh, so they didn't like the fenders are not pulled out, so that might be why.
Well, even with the fenders out,
Oh,
with the
really?
flares,
Hmm.
yeah,
That's pretty small.
that is very small. I agree.
Hmm. So I guess that takes people like they. I know a lot of people have chosen this car, but or this body style, I mean, but it might persuade others to avoid it and go for the Corvette body, for example, because of its wide potential.
Perhaps.
And I kind of missed a checkpoint, I think, because it
Hmm.
is not counting the time. Okay, let's try one more time there. Oh yeah, no, I
Right.
did miss a checkpoint. Whoops. I didn't notice until I crossed the line, so rip.
Well, that was a rather magnificent swan dive we saw.
Yeah, we'll get to see it again in a few minutes.
Yes, we will.
At least this car gets another chance. I think that first run was a little rough, especially
I I
after hitting the rocks.
I definitely agree. I would have to agree.
Thank you for the
Will,
donation, Will. Buy an RTX 280 Ti. with these $2.
2080.
Yeah, 2080. Actually, I was thinking like my dream build, I guess, for a new computer would be to get an RTX 2080 because I use Shadowplay to record, so I gotta have the NVIDIA cards.
Mm.
My current system is actually in the description of my YouTube channel, but yeah, it's kind of hurting these days, which is unfortunate. Okay, over that jump, or bump, I guess, and no real issues there. We're coming down the home stretch. We're about half done the lap at the traffic light, I would think. Nearly done with it, though. Oh, jeez, okay.
I certainly don't like those noises.
Okay, we're going for a minor trip into the rocks, but everything's gonna be okay. Um, we can definitely recover from that and continue forward. I think we'll probably end up going late again tomorrow too, if possible, just to try and get more of these done, just because Tuesday time is kind of limited, because I have to work that day and Wednesday as well, so can't go late.
Mm.
But this might even be extended into 4 streams if we end up having cars at the end of that, so we'll see.
Well, we've gotten through a decent number, over, it's about 50 of these cars we've managed to get through.
True. I think as long as the next stream doesn't have any issues, we should be able to do more. That being said,
Oh,
yeah, hopefully the 3 streams is reasonable. Okay, almost done with this lap. We're not really ending on a high note here, but we are going to finish off with one of the slower times, 2:45.614. Oh boy.
do I sound like a robot currently?
Yeah, kinda.
My internet is doing somewhat poorly currently.
Well, I guess it's a good time to end. For some reason, I can't type in the Google Sheet. No end of tech problems today for whatever reason. So, okay, there we go. If I just close the sheet and then reopen it, should be able to get it properly this time.
Am I still here?
Yes, still here. Alright, let's input this last time. Come on, Google Sheet. Oh well, I'll just write it down so I know. So before the stream breaks again, thank you to everybody who's joined. Seems like things are starting to die once again, but it's been a good
Alright,
stream.
I think I'm back.
Yeah,
Alright,
you
there we
definitely are back.
Alright, sorry about that. So, just before we go, should we perhaps point out our favorites?
Sure, I forgot about that.
Uh-oh.
0.614. So favorite of the stream so far, which one would you say is that for you?
Favorite for the stream? That's a tough choice. We've seen quite a few great cars. I am partial to the Squid Zenro. It was a rather slow time, but there was quite a bit of character there. Let's see, what else? The Apollo was a very quick time, and I think it looks pretty good. But, it's a tough choice to make. I would definitely say some among them are would be the Squid Renro, the Apollo S25, and the Audi Quattro. I've lost the word. The replica. There we go. Sorry.
Oh, replica, yeah. All right, that sounds good. I think for me, I like Liam's car, the Premier Rally. That's a nice looking car.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Super Drop is really cool. that one
Yes,
with the
the
wheels on
super
top
drop.
of it. And probably the Mini, I think, is a good one. I think that was a pretty accurate representation.
Yeah,
Turned
that
out
was
like a pretty decent car.
relatively earlier on, but it was actually relatively powerful and it had a average time.
Yeah, I think it went well.
So, anyways, I suppose that's the end of the stream now.
Yeah, that'll be the end of this stream. But we'll be going again tomorrow, probably around 5, potentially earlier. We'll see how it goes. I just want to make sure that we can get through all of these cars because we still have quite a few left. We've just done. Wait, what? We finished at 50.
Line 50. So
Line
I believe
50,
that's
so we've done 45 cars because we didn't do the turbo
four.
crash.
Yes,
Um,
45.
so 45 cars down, a lot more to go. But yeah, we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you to everybody who's joining.
And thank
And
you all for accepting me into this community as well.
yeah, it seems that this stream has been well designed. So we'll see
All
you
right.
again tomorrow.
Thank you all so much. Goodbye.
All right.